Test positive for coronavirus. All it takes is one employee to shut your business down again. Relief Telemed introduces the COVID mitigation platform. They take care of all the coordination and stress of getting employees tested. Their platform will connect your employees to a virtual doctor, get them tested, and provide you, the business owner, with a custom action plan for every employee. It's not if COVID will strike your business, it's when. Visit relieftelemed.com/stop the spread for more information. Relieftelemed.com, stop the spread.
Many people are injured and can't afford to get the treatment they need because insurance companies won't pay until a case is closed. I'm attorney Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
Offices in Baton Rouge.
104.5 WNXX Jackson, 104.9 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Tuesday, November 17th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 76. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron joins us at 7:30. Derek Stingley Sr. stops by at 8 a.m. Nick Underhill talks Saints at 8:30, presented by former LSU Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette. And WDSU's Fletcher Mackel stops by at 9:30. OTB mailbag today at 8:15. Get your questions in, tweet them, or ask them in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Use the hashtag OTB mailbag. Follow the show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. And get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Up and at it off the bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria, online at 104.5ESPN.com. Good Tuesday morning to you. Jordy Collada, T-Bob Hebert, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas here, all the way up until 10 a.m. this morning. We'll talk New Orleans Saints with both Fletcher Mackel and Nick Underhill today. Mackel will stop by in the 9 o'clock hour. Nick Underhill from New Orleans Football will stop by at 8:30 this morning. Remember, that's presented every week by former LSU Tiger and current attorney Chris Perrette. 8 o'clock this morning, City Cafe brings us our conversation with Derek Stingley Sr. 7:30, LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron will stop by. Tigers playing Arkansas?
Yeah. I mean, it's still, and it's got to be too late for any movement to happen for this weekend, right? Like, if you were going to move this game, you would have done so Sunday, Monday, something like that. So, yeah, I think you're locked in Arkansas.
Saw some reports out of Oxford last night as late as 8 o'clock. They could have a change to this weekend's schedule of LSU possibly facing Ole Miss.
I thought the Egg Bowl was happening this weekend.
Who knows?
Okay, so I'm wrong then. So you're saying they still might change?
As of last night, they were still talking about that it could possibly happen. I asked Musso when I got here this morning, who's LSU playing? I think they're playing Arkansas. So we'll talk to Ed Orgeron coming up at 7:30 this morning. We got your headlines presented by Barbecue Guys every single day. Justin Jefferson went off last night again as Jefferson is creating some pretty heady numbers for a rookie as he had another 100-yard performance. We'll tell you what that means coming up inside of your headlines. The Pelicans with a huge trade. They get more picks, and we'll tell you about that coming up on OTB. Here are your headlines on this Tuesday, November 17th.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They're your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
LSU head football coach spoke to the media on Monday for his weekly press conference to provide updates and preview the upcoming Arkansas game. Here he is talking about the Hogs.
Obviously, I think that Coach Sam Pittman has done a tremendous job with his football team. His coaching staff ought to be commended. They're a completely different football team. They're a darn good football team. They play with great fundamentals. They play with energy, and this is going to be a big challenge for us to go on the road and to beat Arkansas at home.
Felipe Franks has made a lot of improvement from last season in Gainesville to this season in Fayetteville. Here is Ed Ogeron talking about the respect he has for the senior signal caller.
Felipe Franks is doing a little bit more RPOs than he did at Florida. His leadership skills are showing on the field. He loves to run the offense. It looks like the guys are playing. He's using his skill. Traylon Burks, a guy from Warren, Arkansas, who I tried to recruit very hard. We're right in the thick of it. Outstanding player. They got a great running back. They got another great receiver. Their offensive line is playing well because the head coach is an offensive line coach. So I think they've done a tremendous job. Barry Odom does a good job with their defense. He did a great job of game planning Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss had 6 picks. He dropped 8 on them. So the guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I do not feel good about Barry Odom game planning for a freshman quarterback that he's now got 2 games worth of film on. It's interesting, Jordy. I mean, I cannot pick LSU to win this game just because of how inconsistent they've been versus the consistency of an Arkansas. I mean, me and Brody talked about the Hold That podcast on yesterday, which was like, this is a game where, yeah, LSU may be more talented, but Arkansas is so consistent that LSU just may shoot itself in the foot and end up losing it. And then obviously you don't think that they'll be able to stop Felipe Franks or anybody with any sort of consistency. So, yeah, hope for the best. But, yeah, I will not be picking LSU this weekend.
Some other LSU football news from Monday. Racey McMath and Jabril Cox have both accepted invitations to play in this year's Reese's Senior Bowl. That'll be in Mobile following the season coming up in January. And the LSU-Texas A&M game on Saturday, November 28th will kick off at 6 o'clock. That will be on ESPN. That was announced by the league office on Monday. Saturday's game right now between LSU and Arkansas is scheduled for an 11 a.m. kickoff, which means your pregame will start at 7 a.m. on Eagle 98.1 Saturday morning. Drew Brees had an Instagram pic yesterday with his kids talking about rehab starting. It was a cool pic that he posted on social media. Sean Payton was speaking yesterday on a conference call, and he will have none of the discussion about injuries.
Hey, real quick before we get started, I'm not going to address any injuries on this conference call or questions about any injured players. Fair enough?
Well, I mean, Sean, to be fair, it's the starting quarterback.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. No. There's none, though. There's none. And in other words, Wednesday's our first day that we're required to do that. And to be fair to the process, let's stick with that. I'll make sure on Wednesday we kind of list his practice status and everything else.
Kat Terrell's got some cojones on her. She is always the one calling out Sean on the truth, which, I mean, is like, it is a starting quarterback, Sean. Like, it's pretty relevant. You may have to address it, but.
Well, I mean, by him coming out and making that statement shows how big of a story it is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, to address it on the front end without any type of question on it.
Also, I don't know that he has to address it because if you look at Ed Warder's history with Drew Brees, like, that's who he gets his information from, right? Didn't he cover him in high school or something? Like, throughout Drew Brees' career, since I've been doing this job, Ed Warder always gets the biggest Brees news, and it's always accurate.
Warder is a Dallas native.
There you go.
Drew Brees is an Austin native. You always see Ed Warder covering the Cowboys. You know that Drew Brees is from Texas.
I think he covered him in high school, and then that's maybe where the relationship was seated. But, yeah, so I believe it when I read that Ed Warder wrote that he has 3 ribs on the left side of his body broken and 2 ribs broken on the right side, and then punctured his right lung in Sunday's game. I mean, we'll get into the full detail of the injuries, but it's absurd.
I hereby swear I'll never talk trash about Drew Brees ever again.
To say, you better put some respect on that man's name. That is one
ever again.
Some gun.
Ever again. Sean Payton, this is the last one from Payton yesterday, talking about the hit on Brees. Was it malicious?
I think this, in my humble opinion, I saw really one flagrant hit that was worthy of a personal foul, and that was the hit on Traquan. I know we were called with a couple on the quarterback, and I'll say this, they were consistent relative to that foul being called on the quarterback. So whether it was the 2 called on us or the 1 on Drew, they were consistent. Do I necessarily agree that any one of the 3 or all of the 3 were obvious fouls? I don't really, but they were consistent there. The missed call was the one on Traquan.
Breeze got up. When he got up, you knew he was hurt. You could tell by the way he was walking.
How many ribs do you have? How many ribs do you even have to break?
I'm not going to guess.
I never took anatomy. Danny, you just said 2 ribs. I don't think that's
not 2.
No, I think you have 2 sets of ribs. Right. You have a set here and
cages.
a set here.
2 cages.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about how many ribs. He's broken 5 of them. My point is, how many more ribs can he break? Like, is he at 80% of his ribs? Does he have 2 left over? 10 feels like a even rib number.
We'll get more from Peyton on Wednesday, it sounds like, on Breeze's status. Justin Jefferson had 8 catches for 135 yards on 10 targets in Monday night's win for Minnesota as they beat Chicago 19-13. Jefferson, check this out from ESPN Stats and Info. Jefferson joins Randy Moss as the only rookies in Viking history with a 100-yard receiving game on Monday Night Football, and it was Jefferson's 4th 100-yard game, 100-yard receiving game, which ties Randy Moss for the most by a rookie in Vikings history, as Justin Jefferson, again last night, dominant with his 8 catches. New Orleans Pelicans were a part of a big deal on Monday, sending guard Drew Holiday to Milwaukee for Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and what is described as a significant amount of draft compensation. That, according to ESPN, teams are still working on and through the picks of the trade. It sounded like early Tuesday morning, but New Orleans adds to its picks of war chest, which includes the 2021 haul from the Anthony Davis trade. The draft selections give the team more flexibility as the Pelicans look to build for the future around Zion and Brandon Ingram. Drew Holiday spent 7 seasons in New Orleans.
Yeah, and he was a great Pelican through and through. I mean, everything that he did for the city, everything that him and his family went through here. I've loved watching Drew Holiday play. Obviously, he's one of the best Pelicans ever, really, which however much that is saying. But, like, he is beloved, and I'm happy to see him now go get to contend for a championship. I'm also very happy with the job that Trajan Langdon and David Griffin did in this. I mean, this is building the culture, right? This is being patient. This is taking the more long-term approach instead of leveraging your future constantly for short-term success like you tried to do the entire AD era. Like, this is what Pelicans fans have been hoping for. And as far as the picks go, I'm trying to nail down the details. It's very odd. I like, there are no concrete answers yet. I know you got 3 first-round picks, and then is it additional 2 pick swaps maybe? And the first-round picks may not trigger until 2024. I'm not entirely sure. Just we'll be on the lookout throughout the show today and really throughout the day to try to update you on the exact deals. But, yeah, the Pelicans not only – so, like, it's odd. You can make the argument in adding Hill and Bledsoe. They improved in the short term on the team, and obviously they bolstered their future even more, adding to the bevy of picks that they have from the Lakers. It is wild how this Pelicans front office has been operating lately.
Yeah, it's a great balance when you look at the trade. The Phoenix Suns –
by the way, you have 24 ribs. You have 2 pairs of 12. Huh.
So he's only got 5 broken.
I mean,
he can be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Breeze, suck it up. Never mind. I'm back on the train that Breeze is soft. Phoenix Suns on Monday acquired All-Star point guard Chris Paul in a trade with Oklahoma City. In return for Paul, the Thunder received Kelly Oubre Jr., who's a New Orleans native, and more picks for the 2022 draft. College football yesterday, South Carolina cornerback J.C. Horn announced on Monday that he's opting out of the remainder of the season to begin preparation for the NFL draft. Horn's decision comes a day after South Carolina fired their head coach Will Muschamp. And LSU basketball, more good news on the recruiting trail. Will Wade and his crew received its 3rd letter of intent for the fall signing period when the papers were approved by LSU Athletics for Alex Fudge out of Robert E. Lee High School in Jacksonville, Florida. On Monday, Fudge is a 6'8" small forward who averages 16 and 10 in his junior season. He becomes the 3rd signee of the fall period for the LSU basketball program, as they've already signed Brandon Murray from IMG Academy, Jarrell Colbert, a center who will play his senior season in Germantown, Tennessee. Those are your headlines. What's trending here on Off the Bench on this Tuesday edition of OTB, driven and powered every day by All-Star Toyota. All-Star Toyota is located on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. Check them out online at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. We got Ed Ogeron stopping by in 15 minutes. Derek Steenley Sr. going to be here at 8 a.m. Nick Underhill talking Saints at 8:30. Fletcher Mackel talking more New Orleans sports coming in for the 9 o'clock hour. OTB packed on this Tuesday. Come ride with us. Powered by All-Star Toyota.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills. Blaze Grills is headquartered in Baton Rouge. Shop on the web at barbecueguys.com. Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by Central Plumbing Company. Remember, 925-8552 is the phone number to get in touch with Central Plumbing Company. The trusted number has been around for over 40 years. You can get in touch with Central Plumbing Company today about your residential or your commercial plumbing services. Dial them up, 925-8552. In fact, store that phone number into your contacts list, 225 area code 925-8552. You can get in touch with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, online, centralplumbing.org.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. You got a plumbing problem, call Central Plumbing. Don't think twice about it. You don't worry about fixing it yourself. You don't worry about lifting a finger. You just call them, and they're licensed, bought, insured. You can trust who's coming to your home. Flat rate pricing means you know exactly what to expect. And the warranty gives you peace of mind afterwards. So what are you waiting for, man? Do what I do. Centralplumbing.org. Have all your plumbing issues taken care of. It doesn't matter. Old house, new house. They do it all. They've seen it all. Centralplumbing.org.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150 XLT. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 9th.
Yo, join us for a Tuesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda from noon to 3. Chris Doring of the SEC Network and SiriusXM Radio joins us for his Tuesday segment. And also Hunt Palmer will sit in for an hour on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, stick around on Off the Bench. We will talk New Orleans Saints as the Saints are in the news right now for Drew Brees and his injury, as it was reported yesterday by Ed Werder over at ESPN that Brees had suffered a punctured lung and fractured ribs in the second quarter of Sunday's game versus San Francisco as he was pounced on by Javon Kinlaw, the rookie out of South Carolina, which looked like a brutal hit just by getting up. It didn't look illegal. It just looked brutal by the.
Was that Kinlaw? Wow.
By the way that it just looked on television.
So, what's interesting about that, Jordy, if you listen to that right there, you might have thought that all 5 ribs were broken in that hit. But that's where, to me, this gets especially crazy, is that that's not the case. Because on that hit, the doctors say that his 2 right ribs broke and then punctured his lung. But T-Bob, what about the other 3 broken ribs, right? Well, apparently, doctors believe that those 3 ribs on the left side were actually broken in that Tampa Bay game. And that just because his body's so beat up and there was so much swelling that they did not show up on an x-ray. Wow. And that's when he got the CAT scan yesterday, they were like, oh, boy, oops. Actually, it's very clear. You also have 3 fractured ribs on the left side of your body. So he entered that game with a shoulder injury that we know has been bothering him to the point of causing extreme pain and having him on the injury list for 2 weeks. And then he also entered that game probably feeling like, think about it. That's what a master of pain management and just like overcoming, just what a master of toughness Drew Brees is. He entered Sunday's game against the Bucs with 3 broken ribs on the left side of his body and had no idea. Sunday's game against the Niners with 3 broken ribs on the left side of his body and had no clue. Then he gets hit, breaks the other 2 ribs, punctures his lung. What does he do? He goes back out there for a 2-minute drive, and he plays well. He goes into Brees 2-minute mode. He throws a touch. Think about this. Think about how bad your ribs are. How bad. Remember, we talked about, you went through the back stuff here before Oshner got you right. The core, right? Anything you do hurts. This man fumbled that snap on that touchdown throw, bent over, picked it up, and then threw a touchdown to Alvin Kamara. He had the big 3rd and 3 conversion. The screen pass. Imagine being in that much pain and having to run a screen pass where the literal design of the play is to let free rushers come right at you, and yet it was perfect touch, perfectly executed. The man is a man's man, like way tougher than you obviously know he's tough. He's playing football at 38 years old, playing that position. So much tougher than I ever could have fathomed. And everything that he
41,
said, everything, yeah, 38. What I say, everything that he said after the game now makes so much more sense when he talks about it being an accumulation. It literally was. Like his body is just completely shattering here, and this is a question that we explored yesterday. And I think it has a lot of merit, which is simply like, is it worth it now? Because some people are saying optimistically you could be back in 2 to 3 weeks. Chill out on that. Is it worth it when you look at the next 4 games, especially where it is
all winnable?
Yes, it is Falcons, Eagles, Falcons, Broncos, Falcons, Eagles. Right? I mean, you could go 3-1 in that stretch even without Drew Brees. It is worth it, in my opinion, to give him like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, however long he needs, get him fully healthy. Maybe you have to sacrifice the 1 seed, but you'll still make the playoffs, right? If you're winning, try to get him fully healthy and then have a fully healthy Brees entering the playoffs. Like when he missed those 5 games last year, that's actually one of the reasons why he was so strong down the stretch. But yeah, so I mean, my main takeaway from all of this, though, is just like, I've never been a Brees doubter, right? I didn't know that I could kind of respect this man any harder or cheer for this man any harder. And here I learned that on top of everything else, he's just one of the toughest people in the NFL.
I have not doubted Brees' skill. I've just kind of been not as much as a believer as many have been along the way. On Sunday, he stamped it. I mean, his toughness. I mean, the fact that he played those last 2 drives with 5 broken ribs and a punctured lung or
and he was going to go back out. He didn't pull himself out of the game until
to the start of the second half.
Like right when they were
I mean, he obviously went through halftime kind of thinking, I'm going to do this, and then went back out to warm up for the second half and thought to himself, and the way that Peyton presented it was like, I don't give my team the best chance to win.
Yes.
Type statement. It wasn't like, I can't do this
because he couldn't breathe.
Right.
Like, that's what finally stopped him. He was like, I'm just having trouble breathing. Yeah, Drew, you have a punctured lung. And then he sat there on the sideline in full pads the entire time and watched the game with his helmet on. I mean, it's really tough for me as a normal person that, like, wakes up and I'm like, oh, my knees hurt. I don't know about today. I might have to take it easy today. Like, it's really tough for me to fathom being in just that you can have this level of toughness. And don't come at me with like pain meds or anything else like that. I get that, but it's still, you don't know how hard it is. It is still incredibly tough to do what you saw Drew Brees do on Sunday. And so, yeah, man, nothing but the best for my captain. I hope that he heals well and gets ready for this final push. Like I said, I think the Saints need to navigate these next 4 games without him. And then let's kind of retake stock of where we're at.
All-Star Toyota brings you OTB Daily here. Remember, online at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. They've got great brand-new car selection. They've also got a great selection of pre-owned and certified inventory for you to choose from. If you stop in and see them on the corner of Goodwood and Airline, where they've been since 2005, you can shop all the inventory there. Aaron Piku and his crew ready to get you into a brand-new make and model this morning or at any point today. Stop in if you are a part of the All-Star family for your service call today. Stop in and see Mr. Tommy Wagaspack over at All-Star Toyota, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. So Sean Payton was speaking a little bit yesterday as the hit on Brees is leaving him into a position where he is going to be on the IR and be out for a couple of weeks. So what's next at the quarterback position?
I wouldn't project or answer that in any way. I wouldn't. We'll see how this week unfolds.
Here he was talking about Winston's performance versus San Francisco.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I thought there were some challenges I mentioned in the postgame conference that aside from the quarterback injury, we had a tight end and a receiver, and so there were a handful of things watching the film that we just got to clean up.
Who's going to start on Sunday?
Sean, I remember last year when Drew was injured in Seattle, you didn't name a starting quarterback until late into the week.
That'll be the case this week, too. And also, none of it benefits us by announcing that player earlier than later.
Peyton yesterday on his conference call. No, he's right.
Not hard
he is right. He's right.
But it's also not hard. I mean, like, I don't think they gain a competitive advantage.
No, that's right.
The world knows that James is going to start. But my deal is, I think we're hearing a little bit of frustration from Peyton because he's like, "Damn, now I got to customize this whole game plan. Like I gotta work even harder this week to try to make this thing work and come up with a system that's gonna promote Winston's strengths."
Defensively, the Saints were flying around the field on Sunday. Here he was talking about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who was making plays. Do we know his status? He was banged up late in that game as well, and Demario Davis.
Those guys both played well. In both cases, both of those guys had one of their better games. And after the first drive, I thought progressively we got better and better defensively.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, we talked to Jeff Duncan yesterday, and he said that Gardner-Johnson said he was fine after the game. He was walking around the sideline and stuff. So it seems like that unofficial reporting. But we think he's okay.
He is the closest to the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu type player that I have seen. I'm not comparing the two, but just his ability to get into the backfield, blitz off the edge, guard the pass, just his versatility is a little bit reminding of that type of game.
Well, and especially in Sunday's game plan, right?
Yeah.
Where they were clearly Dennis Allen, and I think I tweeted this after the first drive, which was that Dennis Allen was clearly prioritizing kind of manning up and getting pressure on Mullins and forcing Mullins to decision points. And he was going to make Nick Mullins beat that rush. And Shanahan in the play calling and Mullins did good early on, but you knew eventually they were going to fall under that tide. And so, yeah, they were adding Chauncey Gardner-Johnson into the rush constantly, confusing him, attacking Mullins. Like I said, force bad quarterbacks to make decisions, right? Don't let them choose the battleground from which they make decisions on. You force them into decision points and good things will happen. They may beat you a couple times. It may get you a couple times, but on the whole, you will win.
Ed Ogeron next.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Daily here on OTB. We're brought to you by AccuTemp. Remember, online at AccuTempBR.com. Get in touch with AccuTemp. They've got a game this Saturday in Tiger Stadium, which means at halftime, You can get the Tiger tune-up at half off if you text 31996. Store that into your contacts list. Put that under AccuTemp Tiger tune-up and text that number during halftime of every LSU game. All you have to do is text the term halftime to that number, and you'll receive half off of your Tiger tune-up from our friends over at AccuTemp. AccuTemp is the official AC and heating services of LSU. You can find them online, AccuTempBR.com.
AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com. And Jordan, the other thing when you talk about HVAC stuff, it's like one of the most annoying parts is lining up a time, right? And they want to give you like this 12-hour window most places do, and maybe guys show up on time, maybe not. That is not the case with AccuTemp. A tight time window that you all agree upon, and they are there on time, every time, guaranteed. Go to AccuTempBR.com today.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital. Auctioner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4Kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. The latest on Drew Brees' injury. Larry Holder will join us, and we'll start previewing LSU and Arkansas. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Coach O, and you are listening to my favorite radio show, Off the Bench with Jordy and T-Bob, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Go Tigers.
All right, every Tuesday morning right here on Off the Bench, we welcome in the LSU head football coach as the Tigers back in action after a week off last week dealing with some COVID issues around the team. Seemed like they are healthy and good to go this Saturday. Right now scheduled to play Arkansas at Tiger Stadium at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Your coverage will begin at 7 a.m. on Eagle 98.1. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show.
Hey, Coach, we're going to start a bit serious topic here. Yesterday, obviously, that USA Today article released yesterday. I know you addressed it at the top of your press conference, but, we have a lot of listeners here that maybe didn't hear the presser yesterday. I wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of reiterate what you had to say yesterday.
Yeah, obviously, I said what I needed to say, but, there's no room for that. We'll not tolerate that. I followed every Title IX rule I need to do. As soon as I hear something, I report it. And that's all I want to say about that. But there's no room for that in football. And we will not tolerate that here at LSU.
And so now moving on to the actual football this weekend, how did you handle this last weekend, Coach, with the game postponed? I think you think you're playing Arkansas this weekend. I guess I don't 100% guarantee. How do you handle that from a game planning standpoint? And what did y'all do over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday period?
Yeah, well, we treated it like an open date again, and we went into full Arkansas game plan last. As soon as we found out that we wasn't playing, we got a couple of days on Arkansas, and now we're going to repeat that game plan. We should be ready to go. The players had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. I watched a lot of football, hung out, worked out, got ready to go, and our guys came back with a renewed spirit. Terrace Marshall had a nice little team meeting, players-only meeting yesterday, talking about the significance of us finishing hard these last 5 games. And great leadership. I thought we had one of our best practices yesterday.
Yeah, Coach, it was great to hear you talk about Marshall and his coming to you yesterday morning and urging you and allowing him to speak to the team. Is that something that you've been wanting from your team, a little bit of leadership from within?
Yes. Yes, it's their team. And the better leadership we have in the locker room, the better football team we're going to be. Obviously, better coaching. We need to coach them better. And the leadership has to pick up, and I'm glad to see that Terrence did that yesterday.
What is the health and status? How do you feel about the status of your team going into Saturday after last week's uncertainty?
No, we had a full team meeting room yesterday. I didn't know how to act.
Yeah.
the quarterback line, the stretch lines had more than one guy in. So, yeah, we got most of our guys back. Miles is still out. We got only a couple of guys out with the COVID or in quarantine, but most of our team is back, ready to go.
Coach, when you talk about getting ready for this game, you're going against a very good defensive coordinator in Barry Odom. He now has 2 games worth of film to work off of when you're talking about how he may want to attack these young quarterbacks. When y'all are game planning, do you approach, you say, we're going to do what we want to do and then we'll counter whatever Odom brings to us, or do you try to kind of preempt him in that chess match and do something differently that he hasn't seen before?
Well, it's in between. First of all, we got to do what we can do first, especially with a young quarterback on the road. And what I told our staff, what I told our team is we have to win the turnover battle. We went on the road last time against Auburn, and obviously 3 turnovers led to 21 points. So, number one, you have to win the turnover battle. In order to do that, we got to make less mistakes. And give TJ or Max, whoever it may be, a job that they can do without turning the football over. That's the number one thing. Then you got to win the line of scrimmage. Yep. So Barry Odom's done a great job. He dropped 8 against Ole Miss. I think he had 6 picks. He's done a tremendous job. He's a great defensive coordinator. But we're going to plan for everything. He's basically a 4-3 guy. Cover 1, cover 4, and some drop 8. We'll plan for everything.
And when you talk about the offensive line, I mean, to me, that was the difference between the South Carolina and the Auburn game. Is their best game versus their worst game. What did the film reveal? Why did it go so wrong about Auburn with Auburn? And then how do you get it fixed going forward?
Yeah, just we got beat physically. We weren't ready to play for some reason. Maybe underestimated Auburn's defensive line. I don't know that. But we didn't play our best game. We did not play anywhere near we played against South Carolina. So hopefully we learned the lesson. Hopefully we play better. I'm thinking maybe we may get Darren Rosenthal back. I'm not for sure yet, but I'm expecting him to come back this week. I think that would help us big on the offensive line.
And then what about defensively? I know that going into the Auburn game, we had kind of talked a lot about the need to set the edge, maintain, contain. That didn't always happen against Auburn. Where are y'all at in terms of those defensive fundamentals?
Well, we worked on that hard at open date, and I met with, I watched every explosive play with the defense. We came up with some solutions. We're doing a couple of different things as far as to set the edge or to make sure that we have force there. We still got a ways to go, but I think we've improved over the last 2 weeks.
You mentioned the timeline or the status of Miles Brennan, Coach, and his uncertainty moving forward. What are you looking at of your two freshman quarterbacks this week before you name a starter on Saturday?
Well, first of all, I love the way TJ took every rep last week. He didn't blink. He got better. Max worked out on his own, came back ready to go. Let them compete this week. Max would have to have a tremendous practice, and TJ would have to have a bad practice. We're not to start TJ, obviously, because TJ's been there doing it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I still plan on, if we start TJ, I still plan on playing both if I can.
And I remember, I think, was it last week, Coach, that you were talking about how kind of the writing was on the wall. You maybe thought the game was going to be canceled. Like, how long have y'all kind of been preparing to take on the Hogs?
We've had 2 good days, last Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday was the first down day against Arkansas. As soon as we found out, like 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And then Thursday was the third down day at Arkansas. So obviously, we had all Sunday to prepare. The coaches did. So we feel like we're ahead. We feel like we'll repeat the game plan this week. These guys should be able to go out there and perform with less mental errors and play better football.
And what about the schedule changes going forward? I mean, I know that we've talked to you in the past, being like, look, I know as much as y'all do, but what are the latest that you're hearing in terms of making up these games, the flexibility they're in? Have y'all heard anything from the league office, like even about this weekend?
Nothing. I know we're playing this weekend, as far as I know.
Wow.
But that's it. And we don't know anything else. It's a very fluid situation. Commissioner Sankey told us, hey, be ready. We had a lot of Zoom meetings. Be ready. We're going to have to stay on the moves, be able to adjust, whatever it may be. So whatever they tell us to play, we're going to play.
Ed Ogeron joining us here, LSU head football coach, each week here on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. It seems like Arkansas followed the blueprint of what LSU did in finding you. You were a guy that stated you were going to organize the program, bring in the best players and the coaches to make it a championship program. You've done that. It seems like Sam Pittman kind of fits that mold in Fayetteville. What do you see from the similarities from what they have going on and what you guys have here in Baton Rouge and kind of your relationship with Pittman?
Yeah. Coach Pittman came up to me in the SEC coaches meeting and wanted to thank me for paving the way for line coaches to get head jobs in the SEC. And I told him thank you, but I think he's done a tremendous job. I think he's got some great coordinators. Kendall Brown's doing a great job on offense. They brought back some fire in this football team. Remember, this is basically the same talent of the team that they had last year, but they brought an influx of enthusiasm, great fundamental football. You can see these guys playing better, playing together. I'm very impressed with the job that he's done.
Coach, interesting, entering this weekend, Arkansas seemed pretty consistent this year, but there is no doubt that in terms of talent, y'all have some more talented players, right? One of those guys would be Eric Gilbert. Do you think Tiger fans this weekend can expect to see a game plan that tries to feature him a bit more, maybe like goes out of its way to at times?
Yeah, we have to give him the ball early and more often. We didn't give him the ball enough in the Auburn game and Missouri game. We had some great plays dialed up for him. It's a shame he wasn't in on the right play when we threw it to Torrey. I think he'd have scored, but that's neither here or there. But we need to give him the ball more early and often. He deserves it. He's a great player.
And then one of the other rotations that I know we've kind of analyzed and picked apart a lot this year has been that running back rotation. Has there been any update in that regard? Has anybody continued to kind of assert themselves as he will be the guy?
Well, all we had was Chris Curry last week.
Huh.
So those guys are coming back this week. John and Tyron are coming back. So hopefully they're in good shape and they'll be able to play. We have to see as the week goes on.
You mentioned Dare yesterday, and then you mentioned him again this morning. When would you find out on his status?
I think it's day by day. I think there's some things that have to be finalized in order for him to come back, and that could happen any moment.
You got to like what you've seen out of Cam Wire, huh?
Yeah, very impressed with Cam. Cam has gotten bigger, stronger, has actually played very well.
Coach Ed Ogeron taking it on the road this weekend as LSU will take on Arkansas 11 a.m. Eagle 98.1. Coach, thank you for the time as always.
Thank you, guys. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir. There's Coach O checking in from LSU football this morning as the Tigers are getting up to Arkansas for their next game here. As we said last night, there were a couple of reports out of Ole Miss. Their athletic directors, Keith Carter, over there said that Ole Miss was watching and could possibly play Mississippi State, could possibly play LSU. That was going to be contingent on those two teams and their opponents this weekend. So we will wait and see. But as of now, as you heard there, the latest from the Tiger football coach, Ed Orgeron, LSU is preparing for a road trip to Arkansas on Saturday morning as they will take on the Hogs. When we come back, we will close out hour number 1 right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Coy's Diesel. Remember, online at coysdiesel.com. You can find them there, or you can get in touch with them on Airline Highway, where they've got a great showroom and shop. If you've got a diesel truck, light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck, you can get Coy's Diesel to get you back up and operating today. If you're broken down on the side of the road, they've got 24-hour roadside assistance that they can get you up and help you with. Online, coysdiesel.com.
Coysdiesel.com, coysdiesel.com. Go there for all your diesel vehicle needs. How about that, right? It's right there in the name. It says diesel. It doesn't matter year, make, model. It's not like it's any one company. It's just all diesel vehicles. In fact, they have a great drop-down menu where you can shop by vehicle if you're just looking for a specific part. If you need to purchase anything, they maybe need some financing on, they can help you out there as well. 24/7 emergency roadside assistance if you get in trouble. Or maybe you just want to take your diesel vehicle to the next level. Some new brakes, wheels, gauges, pods, NOS. Go to coysdiesel.com, coysdiesel.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf. because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
Tune into a Monday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Ivar Sports Bar. Jimmy recaps the weekend in football, including Saints versus 49ers, and we host our Monday Night Football watch party. Tune in at 6 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Derek Stingley Sr. stopping by here in 9 minutes as we will talk to Sting Sr. just like we do every week. Compliments of City Cafe. We'll ask him his thoughts on Derek Stingley Jr. and the crew getting ready for another road trip. LSU taking on Arkansas. Good stuff from Ed Ogeron there on OTB, just like he is weekly. I see some people inside of the Bayou Ford chat app wondering why we didn't ask the tough questions to Ed Ogeron. And I can promise you that we would not get anything from O on any questions that we were asking about that USA Today article. That's why he led his press conference yesterday with a prepared statement. And after that prepared statement, he said that he would be taking no more questions on that. Glenn Gilbo tried to follow up with a question yesterday in the press conference to a no-comment answer. T-Bob asked if there was anything he wanted to add to yesterday's statement for those who may not have heard yesterday's press conference. He reiterated a lot what he talked about yesterday, but after that, you're just going to get a lot of no comments and next questions from anything that would be asked about that situation at LSU. We're just as curious as you are to the thoughts and feelings of the higher-ups and the executives at LSU about that article because it is bad. There's no way that you can spin that.
I think it looks terrible on the higher-ups and the executives.
I do, too.
Mean, it looks. I
do, too.
I kind of agree with Ross Dellinger's take on yesterday's, which is that like the Drake Davis stuff is the worst of everything. A lot of the other stuff is unfortunately representative of, I think, college culture throughout a lot of the country, and then a lot of the failures extend way beyond. I mean, just the volleyball staff's mentioned, right? The football coach staff is mentioned, but to me, that has to keep going up top when you're talking about where's the accountability at.
Yeah, it's and it's discouraging. I mean, I think when you read that article, I mean, it was very depressing to think that could be going on and that type of cover up could be happening for anybody on campus. Because it's disgusting and it's inexcusable. It's inexplicable. There's nothing that you could say that would forgive that if that was happening.
Well, the Drake Davis allegations, too, there's like a depressing part where the dad's like, I mean, and I just knew that my daughter was going to get hit at LSU and they weren't going to do anything about it, and that's that.
Yeah, in the same sense, when I was reading that, if that was, and I'm not saying, but I mean, I would go get my daughter off of the campus if I thought that was a threat and that was happening, because of nothing happening in response to her saying that this is going on. I just think that there are that was a very discouraging article to read, and if anything like that was going on or any type of cover up is happening like that at LSU, then I think that heads should roll. I don't think that's too much to ask if that's the culture and that's the environment. But I also do know that some of the names brought up in that article, were dealt with. I talked to Grant Delpit's representation. They said they didn't find out anything about a accusation or any type of claim until they read the article. Zach Sheffer was immediately dismissed from the team. Tay Provins was no longer with the team when those accusations came out. He was in the transfer portal when that stuff happened. Peter Parrish was dismissed and suspended immediately from LSU's football team. So I don't think that there's this overwhelming culture where they're covering up rape and sexual abuse. But I do think that there are some instances where there's questions. And if there's questions, what is going on? Because if the proper protocol was taken by the student athletes or the students, I think what's more discouraging or is as discouraging in reading that yesterday was that there was a fraternity member that was accused of sexual assault, and the claims and was brought to the higher ups or the protocols in place, and there was a student that was sitting in a classroom with that fraternity member that had the
Three
sexual
accusations
assault
against him from
accusations
3 different
against. To me, that's a university culture problem. That when I read that, I thought to myself, this is really bad, because I think that we've all become almost accustomed, or you've almost become numb to
cultural.
reading athletic departments covering up stuff like this to protect the athlete, right? I mean, we've read that before. I don't think that LSU is the first case, but when you're talking about students on the campus as a whole in dealing with this, now I think the university is rolling downhill as far as the snowball goes. So when I read that, I thought that was a highlight of an issue that was greater than what was going on into the athletic department. I think when you read that, you thought that LSU may have a culture problem entirely.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's like concerted cover-up as much as it is just not digging too deep, right? And both are wrong, and this article clearly shows why both need to change, because the protocols in place, as Jordy said, if you read about that student, she was not really protected in any way from the guy that she's accusing going forward, when it seems very clear that she should have been, at least from what was alleged in the article. So, and if you want to spin that even larger, I mean, those type of problems, that is a cultural throughout America and the higher education system. When you talk about young people mixing alcohol, sexual assault, trying to decide like who goes home with who, all of these things, and my only hope, if I want to be overly optimistic, is that bringing this stuff to light hopefully affects some sort of cultural shift or change, but that'll take place over a long period of time.
Hour 2 next.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Daily brought to you by Ochsner Sports Medicine. Remember, you can find them online at ochsner.org. If you're an elite athlete, if you are a weekend warrior, an ancient athlete, and you're trying to get back into competition, Ochsner can help that today. They've got all of it at a state-of-the-art facility in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Covington that you can find out about online at ochsner.org. All under one roof. Everything from MRIs to physical therapy to even surgery, they can handle for you over at Ochsner Sports Medicine, online, ochsner.org.
Ochsner.org, ochsner.org. If you get injured, there's nowhere else that you want to go. And look, it's on the North Shore, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. The facilities are incredible, y'all. I've been around professional football teams, high-level college football teams. These facilities are just as good, if not better, than the ones that the pros use. And it's not just the raw equipment, but it's who's guiding you, right? The physical therapists, the surgeons. No stone left unturned, maximizing your recovery. Go to ochsner.org today.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Tuesday, November 17th. Today in Baton Rouge, sunny skies with a high of 76. In case you missed hour one of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Brought to you by Carriages. Still to come, Derek Stingley Sr. joins the show next. Nick Underhill talking Saints at 8:30, presented by former LSU Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette. WDSU's Fletcher Mackel will be here at 9:30. OTB Mailbag at 8:15. Get your questions in. Tweet them or ask them in the Bayou Ford chat using the hashtag OTB Mailbag. Follow the show today on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. And make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hour 2 off and at it off the bench. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio down in New Orleans, and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. OTB, driven and powered by All-Star Toyota. Hour in the books, heard from Ed Ogeron. You missed it, catch it online, 1045ESPN.com. All of our on-demand sound here on OTB is brought back to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. I was in Carriages last week. Great new inventory. Picked up a couple of new pants, some Brax pants from over.
I'm going by today. I got some sort of socialite party to go to this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's all the fancy people that I see in the carpool pickup line looking like Big Little Lies. I'm wondering what I should wear.
What, it's a school function?
No, but I think it's a lot of people. I don't actually know what it is. Look, my wife tells me you need to go to this, and I go, right? So jump how high? Yeah, all that. Well, no, I'm very high, but like how high do you want me to jump? But no, yeah, so I don't know.
Not high enough.
I want to go to I want to go to Carriages. I'm going today though after the show. Gonna go see what's up.
Stick around. We're going to talk some New Orleans Saints. Saints are in the news right now. Drew Brees, 5 broken ribs, 5 fractured ribs.
Out of 24.
2 to 3 weeks seems plausible.
Oh my God! Please don't let that man come back in 2 to 3 weeks, dude. Can he get just like give him a month? Can we give my guy a month to just get better? And it's not even like can you do like for the thumb? We talked about it yesterday. He was sitting there and he's doing this stuff right. Can you even do rehab for broken ribs?
No. Well, I mean, last night whatever he was doing with the kids, he was doing some type of breathing machine.
Just keeping his lungs inflated, I think.
But I will say this: my expectation does not change for the New Orleans Saints with Taysom Hill and or Jameis Winston at quarterback. I think that they have got too many parts around them. They've got too many skill players. The defense is too good. Winston's got 75 starts. He's got great experience in this league. Sean Payton could be the best play caller in the history of the league. Yeah. If not, he's a top 3 quarterbacks coach, and working alongside that position, I think that Winston, Hill, Payton, combination of those 3 guys can keep this thing steady until Brees comes back. And like T-Bob laid out, I mean, the 5 weeks he lost last season was really kind of a blessing in disguise by the way that he played the last month of the season. I mean, he was the NFC defensive player, or the NFC offensive player of the month for his production in the month of December last season down the stretch, and it just looked like he was a little rejuvenated and a little bit stronger than he was the past couple of seasons. Derek Stingley Sr. is with us every week. Compliments of City Cafe. City Cafe, 100 years in business over on O'Neill and George O'Neill, where you can stop in for everyday lunch specials. They have boiled shrimp every day, and they've got charbroiled oysters, the best in town if you want to stop in and see them at City Cafe online, citycafebr.net. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing good. Justin Jefferson, Coach, last night had another 100-yard performance. That's his fourth as a rookie. He ties Randy Moss as far as the Vikings franchise goes for rookie and 100-yard games, and he becomes the only rookie for the Minnesota Vikings with Randy Moss to have a 100-yard game on Monday Night Football. I know you've been around the practice fields at LSU for the last couple of seasons. Did you see him being this good at the pro level?
You know, he's doing some of the same things he was doing last year. I mean, you've seen it in practice. Naturally, we've seen it in the games last year. So, me personally, I'm not surprised. I see that they are moving him around. I know that they had some questions about him possibly having to play outside, and that he didn't do a lot of that this last year, that he would probably get pressed up by some good corners. But I've seen him get off the press. They put him in a slot. I've seen him, get around some linebackers and get by some nickel guys. I mean, he's as good as advertised, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's having the success he's having.
I saw Keyshawn Johnson talking about him this morning, talking about his route running capability and just how precise he is, how good of a route runner he is. But he's very, you don't see his style very much. He kind of hops in and out of the break, and he's kind of got this Euro step when he gets into a cut. From a defensive back standpoint, how good of a route runner is he, and how different is his method to get there?
Yeah, he's pretty good because of what he does with that herky jerky type thing, and that he'll always give an extra something at the top or in the middle of the route. That little something that he does, it can freeze a DB because you have to respect it, you have to honor it, and then that's all what a receiver wants to do is make a DB stop his feet. And once you do that, most of the time you're going up against a good wide receiver. It's better for the wide receiver. He's going to come out on top. But it's difficult, especially in off man, because you're seeing, all that. But if you're pressing him, he don't have time to do that type stuff. And he just have to, either defeat the press at the line of scrimmage or just try to run away from it. So if I was coaching against him, I would say, we have to get hands on. We have to disrupt them. We have to make him stay at the line of scrimmage as much as possible so that the quarterback can come off of him. But unfortunately, he's been good at getting off the press. So, it's like, you take either one, which one you want to live with. I'd rather go with the fact that I can probably slow him down a little bit, maybe a 50-50 chance that, I would slow him at the line of scrimmage. But I'm impressed with him.
Yeah, he's been incredible. He's going to break Moss's records for sure. I mean, rookie records, right? Coach, LSU back in action this weekend. It's in such a weird year, man. These gaps between games almost make it feel like you're not in season. Have you talked to Derek Jr.? Like, what's the vibe around the team right now? How have they been handling this very herky-jerky rhythm of the year?
Well, yeah, I talk to that boy almost every day. Last week was different, not having like the full team out there, and having scout guys playing certain positions, having, as they say, the punter playing quarterback, those type things. And he just said that was a little different, but they still got some work in. My thing to him is, make sure you just get better every day. I don't care who's in front of you. Work on something. Put yourself in a compromised situation to where you can get better. But he said it was different. But everyone was focused because they knew they had to be out there, and it wasn't like this is just a day off because we don't have the whole team. He said that he still felt that everybody was still focused on what they had to do. With all this time off, it's different because of the fact that you don't expect to play on August 30th, whatever the day that was, and then our next game is on the 21st of November. that's a long way in between. The only good thing from that is, we had our struggles on defense, and hopefully we can. Hopefully they got that stuff fixed, and physically, hopefully we got ourselves together to where everyone is healthy and ready to go.
When you're halfway through a college football season, Coach, and you don't understand the concept of keeping contain or setting the edge on the major Division I college football level, how do you teach it, right? Like at this, like how deep in the game are we? Like how do I get this guy to just keep contained and force the play back inside?
Well, I mean, you have to rep it over and over. You have to give them, the confidence that they can do it. You have to surprise them with some plays to influence them, to try to make them go down and lose contain. And hopefully that, it sinks in that, no, you can't go inside.
It's crazy.
You have to stay outside.
I mean, I hear you laughing. It's crazy that we're still talking about this half a season in.
T-Bob, me personally, I just look at it like this. And I know we are a Division I Power 5 football team. But, we did change schemes. We did recruit for a 3-4 defense.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a 4-3 defense type lineman. I'm talking about up front. And then even with the linebackers, with the 3-4, we had linebackers doing the containing. Now with the 4-3, you got D linemen doing containment when most of these guys, they were in a 3-4 when they didn't have to do much containing. They were just taking on their gaps and things like that. And it's different for them. And I'm not saying that at this point of the season that we should still be having these problems, but sometimes when you're out there, when you're in the heat of battle, it's just instincts take over. And it's like, oh, this is what I'm accustomed to, opposed to what I've been coached these last couple of days or last couple of weeks. Yeah. It's like these last 3 years, I've been doing this, and this comes natural. But, we should not be having these conversations. But unfortunately, we are. And I'm pretty sure that, Coach O and Pelini, they got together and got some things straight. I'm hoping that we're going to come out and, have a good game against Arkansas.
Derek Stingley Sr. joining us here off the bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Compliments of City Cafe. Stop in and see Squeaky, Cody, and the crew today over at City Cafe. They're on the corner of O'Neill and George O'Neill, as you can find them there. I saw where James Harden turned down $50 million a year. He turned down a $100 million contract extension for 2 seasons. I turned 40 last month. I feel like I'm running out of days to make those choices in my life. Hopefully little Jay will have a chance. Derek will probably be a $100 million athlete. I remember Joe Brady saying last year on the practice field in a matchup between Jamar Chase and Derek that we are looking at 2 $100 million athletes. What would you do if he turned down a $100 million extension?
We would have a private conversation, just him and I, on why, unless he knows something that I don't know, unless he's going to get, maybe $75 million a year at another team. But that's a lot of money. That's generational type stuff. That's like you take care of your grandkids' kids with that type of money. I wouldn't understand that. Like I get it. You want to be happy where you play, but at the same time, how often do you have a chance to get that type of money? It's not out there like that many times.
But the NBA is learning a fascinating lesson, though, right? Which is that when guys are paid well enough, we have now seen clearly that guys are willing to sacrifice some of those extra millions to go chase rings. He's describing this like his AD move.
Yeah, because in the NBA they make a lot of money off sponsorships and advertising.
Yes.
So he probably feels that he can make that up.
Especially James Harden.
He signed a $200 million deal with Adidas.
Oh wow!
Exactly.
I mean, there you go.
So he hasn't won for nothing for a long time. So money is nothing for him. It's just like, okay, I just want to be happy. I don't want to play with guys who I just can't get along with. I want to go with some of my friends, and maybe we win a championship.
So what do you think, though, Coach? I mean, when you're talking about Kyrie and Durant, those are 2 people that are already viewed as maybe kind of toxic personality. James comes with his own kind of baggage. What do you think about those 3 teaming up in Brooklyn?
It's going to be weird because you're right what you said, but the good thing is that, hey, those are 3 guys who can get it done, and maybe one of those out of the 3 may have to take a back seat.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Those 3, they want the ball, and they want to score and shoot. And Harden, that was his thing in Houston. Everybody would just move out of the way, and he would just score at will. So you got the fact that you have a three-headed monster with all three one score. Maybe they may cut a deal with between the three of them and say, look, this is my game, this is your game. This is yours.
I could already see Steve Nash's post-game press conference. Harden told me he wanted to shoot, so I let him shoot it.
Oh, that's wild. Steve Nash is the head coach, too.
Coach, have a good Friday night with the Dunham School. We always appreciate the knowledge, and a good trip to Arkansas if you make it.
All right, yeah, I'm out there. Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
so much, Coach.
There he is, Coach Derek Stingley, Sr., checking in as he does every week. Compliments of City Cafe. Mailbag questions. We need some. Hop inside of the Bayou Ford chat app over on YouTube. Use the hashtag OTB mailbag and get your off-the-bench mailbag questions, and we will answer them next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by Go Roof. Remember, online at GoRoof.com, GeauxRoof.com, residential, commercial, and roofing repair. You can find them online at GoRoof.com, or you can call for the free quote today at 927-8300. And it doesn't matter whether you're a residential customer, a commercial customer, or if you just need a repair around the house or office, Go Roof can get to you and get it fixed up today. Online, GeauxRoof.com.
GeauxRoof.com, GeauxRoof.com, 927-8300, 927-8300. Free professional estimate, people. Free, okay? So you don't got to worry about any upfront costs. If you want to know where your roof stands, you need repairs, is it okay, whatever, get Go Roof out there. They'll check it out, and you'll learn, you make a fully informed decision. Maybe the best part is, though, on top of being fully informed, you're also going to get an idea of what it is like to work with them. And once you have that idea, you're going to realize where you want them on all your roofing jobs. Because what do you get when you work with Go Roof?
A beautiful new roof every single time.
Roof-ha!
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
What do Honda lovers look forward to this time of year? Aside from family, turkey, and pie, happy Honda days at Richard's Honda. It's that time of year when everything is at clearance prices. And since we're stocked up on inventory, you'll have plenty to choose from. Over 700 in stock at transparent prices. Happy Honda days makes happy customers. Come see why people call Richard's Honda the smart choice. I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. and I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Yo, join us for a Tuesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda from noon to 3. Chris Doring of the SEC Network and SiriusXM Radio joins us for his Tuesday segment. And also, Hunt Palmer will sit in for an hour on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Bayou Ford powers the all-new 104.5 ESPN mobile app. Download the app today to watch our shows daily, listen to us live wherever you go, find what you missed on demand, and more. It's a free download available for both Apple and Android devices and powered by Bayou Ford.
Good stuff from LSU basketball. If you're following them on Twitter, their first episode of Boot Up TV that they have on YouTube is an in-depth look at Skylar Mays, who's getting ready for the NBA draft that's coming up here, and Skylar has seen his stock go through the ceiling in this workout process. Somebody that was probably thought of by the majority of the draft experts as somebody who was going to have to fight and find their way through a free agent status or a free agent pickup, has now worked himself into the late second round of the NBA draft that's coming up here. It's this week, the draft?
Ooh, I don't know. This whole NBA offseason's really weird.
Wednesday night.
I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow night.
Oh, my God.
So Skylar Mays could possibly have his name called, and there is a great in-depth look at Mays and his journey on the LSU basketball Twitter account. It is narrated by Cody Worsham. It has a lot to the kind of the That's Joe feel, the podcast that Worsham, Matt Tornquist, and the crew from LSU did last season and following the championship run. This is kind of a miniature version of that, of Skylar, just kind of where he came from, his relationship with Wade Sims and the Sims family, what the tragic death of his best friend in Sims meant to the growth of his game and kind of the growth of what he is figuring out what he wants to do. I mean, a lot of people thought that Skylar would be entering the medicine world, the world of medicine, at this point in his life, but he has delayed that with a degree in his back pocket, a couple of degrees in his back pocket, and going to try at the NBA draft, which he should have some success with as that's coming up tomorrow night. Daily, we're brought to you by All-Star Toyota. Remember, online, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. Stop in and check out the inventory online at allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. They've got great service. If you need collision repair, they can sell you a car today. All of those areas are open and operating today. Online, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Weekly, your mailbag questions. Here's the latest edition.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for off the bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
All right, OTB mailbag. How do we feel about Notre Dame in the playoffs versus Florida and Alabama sitting at home?
I hope that oh gosh, I think that's the only game that I want to watch in college football this season is Florida and Alabama. I think that's going to be a great SEC championship game, and I wouldn't mind watching it again like the Florida or like the Georgia-Alabama game a couple of years back. I'll watch it twice because I think it's going to be fantastic. Over-under on that thing, what, 75?
It definitely has the feel of the same dynamic of LSU Alabama from a year ago. Florida seems more than capable of being able to beat that team.
Is there a game that you would rather see in this room? I mean, that is, after seeing college football up to this point, the only game that I would really sit down and watch every single snap of would probably be Florida and Alabama.
I would want to see Ohio State and Alabama.
Maybe.
Wait, I'm not dumb, right? Florida and Alabama are only going to play in the SEC championship.
Right, most likely.
Oh, you're talking about SEC and then into playoff.
Yeah.
No. Whoever loses should be eliminated.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking Notre Dame,
if Florida gets beat, they'll have
Two losses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but for sure. But I think Alabama should get if Notre Dame makes it all the way undefeated the ACC championship and then loses to Clemson and they've split 1-1 against each other, I would put both those teams in.
OTB mailbag. Have you watched the bar segments on Barstool Sports?
I have not.
No. What's
I have
that?
not.
I watched some of Mincy. Sunday weekend winner. Prez drew names out of a hat, and everybody got their names. I got a $3,300 bet.
I sat in for Jimmy Ott last night on game night, and Mintz came on at 6:15 and told the story. It sounded like it was pretty epic.
Oh, wow.
OTB mailbag, what kind of dressing do you have with Thanksgiving dinner?
Cornbread.
Yeah.
Cornbread's good. Rice dressing's solid. A lot of good ones.
Well, cornbread because it's Thanksgiving. But sure.
You can have more than just cornbread dressing on Thanksgiving, T-Bob. It is possible. Another Thanksgiving question.
You're talking about like the stuffing, right?
Yeah.
No, you can't. Save rice dressing for another day.
Joke. OTB mailbag, ew, that's just awful, Gramber. What do you eat on Thanksgiving besides turkey or ham?
Well, I guess I'll go inside of all the, the regular, your potatoes, everything else. Like, we'll take all of that out of it. I guess the only odd thing, I don't know, I feel like we used to eat duck a lot.
That's interesting.
On Thanksgiving, yeah. Like a holiday duck.
I know some people do like a roast occasionally, too. Like, instead of a ham, they'll do like a turkey and a roast.
That'd be good. It's all about, to me, that would be really good, actually. To me, it's just all about the turkey leftovers. I went to bed, literally, not figuratively. I put myself to sleep making myself think about turkey po' boys and turkey gumbo with all that leftover turkey. I cannot wait to.
A lot of votes for oyster dressing coming in.
That's interesting. Never had that.
I've never had that. It's probably actually delicious.
Well, no, you said you can't have it because you only have cornbread restaurant on Thanksgiving.
I did. I gate kept, and so I'll hold the line.
Yeah.
It's probably delicious. Did I say it was delicious on Thanksgiving?
No, but it was implied.
Matthew?
It was implied. OTB mailbag, if Breeze doesn't come back this season, does he retire on an injury or try to come back next season?
I think he's done.
I think he's done.
He told you before the season when he's like, I'm just going to go let it fly and see what happens.
I thought
then Sean Payton actually literally said it by mistake earlier this season.
I kind of thought in the moment when he was getting up and he was walking very gingerly, very just kind of like, that's what it looks like for me, getting out of bed in the morning.
His body's
He's just, he's like, he kind of thought to himself, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah,
like, what am I doing?
I immediately regret this
I've got $150 million in the bank, and I'm going to take this guy head on?
Adam Penny says broccoli casserole. That's a great call. I love broccoli casserole on Thanksgiving.
OTB mailbag, how do you feel about the March Madness bubble in Indy? Will it happen?
I kind of feel like that it will because of the NBA success and that the NCAA knows if they miss out on the tournament again, they will financially be broken.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've made it clear that they want to have that tournament, and they're going to have that tournament.
They have to have it.
So they will. Indy seems like a great spot, sure.
Yeah, bubble's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever makes the tournament be played, ultimately.
But they have to have the tournament.
Somebody posted pictures of, like, Indiana high school basketball gyms on Twitter last night.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. They're like, they should hold the tournament here. And I was like, yeah, those are impressive.
Yeah. How did
like the Butler feel to it?
Yeah.
How's Will Wade and LSU going to make the Final Four if there's no tournament? Right? I mean, they got to play it. So if that's in Indy, let's do it.
OTB mailbag, what do you all usually do for Thanksgiving?
We go to my sister's place. My sister has the entire family over, and she's kind of a neutral point that brings together both sides of the family, both my mom's side and the dad's side. So you could look up and you could have 60 people there.
Yeah, I too, I got parents, step-parents, in-laws.
Yeah.
So I just kind of bop around, see where we land that year. Like this year we're landing, and we're just going to be, the in-laws are coming to town. We're just going to be doing it with them.
Yeah, of course, sit around with family, eat, maybe do a little drinking, watch some football, and then you pass out for a nap. That's what happens.
Yeah. Do we have Friday off?
Lord, I hope so.
Oof.
OTB mailbag, you have the power of any superhero, but only inside your house. Which superhero do you choose? What do you do with your abilities?
It's easy. Professor X. He's already in a wheelchair, so being inside the house is fine. His powers are all mentally based. And I would just flip light switches on and off. Oh, the remote's across the room. I would just lift it up with my brain and bring it over to me. Like telepathy is the clear answer here.
Is the Roadrunner a superhero?
No.
I don't think so.
But
the Flash is if you're going for speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, inside your house?
Yeah, just get everything cleaned up.
Okay.
Hey, there
yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Knock the chores out.
The Flash could do a sink full of dishes in probably 5 seconds.
Could you imagine seeing the Roadrunner cut his grass?
That's true. I wonder. I feel like your your lawnmower just explode if you tried to run it that fast.
Last one. OTB mailbag. Who should the Pelicans use the first-round picks on? Positions?
I don't even think we can answer this question, though, because the first-round picks are not coming. I think you maybe have Milwaukee's 24 this year, or they're 28
I think
this year.
they have 2 first-round picks this year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think.
Well, from the Lakers trade?
Yes.
No, I thought one of them was Milwaukee. I thought the Lakers
they
trade.
They have the 13th pick that's theirs, and I'm pretty sure they have one. They have 4 picks. They have the 13th, which is their pick, and then they have one other pick. They have the last pick in the first round.
I texted Jake Madison to come on at 8:50 and give us a 5-minute breakdown of all this. So,
one thing that I do is I trust David Griffin to make whatever picks he has. I mean, after his success with the draft around Zion and seeing that crew.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes looks really good.
Amass the picks, bro. I mean, even Nickeil Alexander.
Yeah, and definitely, I don't know this NBA drafts class at all. I have not been paying attention, so I can't give you names. Danny?
Obi Toppin from Dayton. He's going to be a beast.
Obi Toppin?
I don't know if he makes it to 13.
Yeah, Pelicans have no shot at getting him, but I think he's going to be a beast in the NBA.
Like Dayton, that's who I feel worse for in college basketball last year because
Flyers?
They were set up for a run, and they might have had the best player in the tournament in Obi
Toppin.
In Obi Toppin, and their season gets called. I think they were number 4 in the country when the season got called. I mean, when's the last time and when's the next time Dayton's going to be a top 5 team in March?
Right.
And they're a top 5 team in March, and the season explodes due to a pandemic.
That's brutal.
Nick Underhill talking Saints, compliments former LSU Tiger and current attorney Chris Brett. Appreciate the interaction on Mailbag. We talk to Underhill next.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, online dgbauto.com. Remember, get in touch with Donaldsonville Glass and Body today for all your collision repair. They can help you out if you've been into an accident. You can get to them at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. dgbauto.com is where you can find them over at 415 Division Street. Remember, they are the proud collision repair sponsor of Off the Bench. Mention them to Nick Frederick, Kenny Frederick when you get out there. Online, dgbauto.com.
dgbauto.com, DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com, a one-stop car shop. My guys, I love them. They extended the life of my vehicles for years beyond where they should have, and I went to them for everything, right? Oil change, DG&B. I got some going on my tires, DG&B. Funny noise in the engine, DG&B. Inspection sticker, DG&B. And remember, if you get in an accident, they will pick you up, tow it to their facilities for free, fix it, and then drop it back off to your home for free. Convenience to the highest order, DonaldsonVilleGlassandBody.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community without being asked? We think that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust. If you know someone who exhibits all of these qualifications, nominate them for a Good Citizen Award, and they could receive $500 from Citizens Bank. And we'll recognize them here on the show. Get the details at citizensbankandtrust.com, and then nominate your good citizen.
They are exactly the same.
They're identical. Actually, they're not. House 2 also has antioxidant vitamin C.
Antioxidant?
Then we'll take House 2.
Given the choice, why wouldn't you choose the one with antioxidant vitamin C? Choose Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Toyotathon is happening now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas.
Get a 20 Highlander for $4,600 off of MSRP.
So come on down to Happy Town for Toyotathon. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas.
Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder, Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor?
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. The latest on Drew Brees' injury. Larry Holder will join us, and we'll start previewing LSU and Arkansas. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Weekly New Orleans Saints updates with Nick Underhill on OTB are brought to you by former LSU Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette.
All right, each week we talk to Nick Underhill from New Orleans.football. We're going to link up with him here in a couple of minutes. Compliments of former attorney, former LSU Tiger and current attorney Chris Perrette is right here downtown.
Now what is this? A little license fee right here? I kind of like this right here.
I think they're letting it breathe.
Hey.
I mean, we've heard this one before.
Hey. Yeah, I know, but we never got to this part. Bum, bum, bum,
Musso's trying to link up with Underhill right now as T-Bob and I were going over the Pelicans picks.
Yeah, also, I was
NBA
giving
draft.
you credit for your flash choice on Superpowers in the House. I think you're absolutely right. It'd be so nice to be able to clean the house that quickly. But, yeah, I can make a lot more sense of that, though, than I can the current Pelicans pick setup. It is all very confusing.
I can't make any sense how Drew Brees finished the first half on 5 broken ribs and a lung that was collapsed. Nick Underhill, who covers the New Orleans Saints as good as anybody, and he writes over at NewOrleans.football and is here every Tuesday. Compliments of Chris Perrette, former LSU Tiger and current attorney Chris Perrette. You can find his work at NewOrleans.football and check out the podcast wherever you're listening to podcasts. How are you, man? Good morning.
Hey, I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing okay. Can you give an explanation of what you saw from Brees in the final 3 minutes of the half on Saturday?
I mean, that was crazy. He's out there doing that with the collapsed lung, broken ribs. I mean, you can't ever question that guy's toughness. And the craziest thing about that is he came out in the second half and he still intended to play. He thought his back had tightened up on him a little bit. And he tells Peyton that he can't go into the game. And that was just still in his mind a temporary situation. We've seen him keep going into the little blue injury tent they pop up on the side. And he's in there trying to get his back to loosen up, thinking it's a muscle, and it's a collapsed lung. So, I mean,
so
this guy's
do you expect him back?
Determination to play is unmatched.
Yes. You expect him back this year?
I do. I think right now they're looking at it like it's going to be maybe like a 3-week injury. I mean, obviously we'll see how that responds. But starting out, the fact that they aren't looking at him as if he's done, I think has to be a sign of confidence in his ability to get back. And we saw last year. I mean, he's not a sane person when it comes to these things. He got back with that thumb injury earlier than anyone expected. Even beat the bye by a week when he could have sat out that game and got himself another week with it. So he's going to do everything he can to play. And, I do think that if it's physically possible for him to get out there by the end of the season, we'll see him again. It's not going to be a pain thing. I mean, he said that himself, and I think his actions speak for that too, just over the years, all the stuff he's been willing to play through. And look, he had 2 broken ribs after the Tampa game, they're saying, and just never got it checked. So, I mean, he's going to play if he can get his body moving and his lungs filling up.
Yeah, right. Like I think they X-rayed it, and then because his body's so torn apart, it was just too swollen for them to see those fractures until this most recent CAT scan. I mean, you're absolutely right, Nick. Like his ability to mentally overcome pain is such that he did not even feel those broken ribs. He's a legend, man. But if you're going to get by without the legend, it's going to be on that defense. A lot like it was last year when you went 5-0 when nobody would have thought you would do that tough schedule. You got an easier schedule in these next 4, but let's look at what the defense did on Sunday and what you can carry forward, because to me, Dennis Allen clearly smelled some blood in the water with Mullins. He knew he wanted to get after and force him to make decisions, and that would work out for them. What was your take on how the defense played Sunday?
Yeah, for me, I mean, you do have to take some points off it because of who San Francisco didn't have on the field. But for me, the biggest thing was just seeing how they executed. And this is a team, they use motion on like 39 plays in this game. And motion against the Saints earlier this season was their kryptonite. And they get them moving around and looking in the wrong places and get them displaced and disorganized. And I think you saw that a couple times on the very first drive. They got a guy off Lattimore. They got him caught on a pick and scored a touchdown. But I think outside of that, like they were very good with staying disciplined, watching what they needed to watch, making the proper switches. There was a 3rd and 1 play where Malcolm Jenkins cut off, the pass to the flat on a bootleg, and that, caused them to punt. So it was a lot of little things that they were doing. And it wouldn't have mattered who they were playing with the way San Francisco approached it. If they weren't on point, you would have seen the defense shatter. And they stayed together really well. And now we've seen, I think since the Chargers game, there's been incremental progress of them rounding into shape. And despite Jimmy Garoppolo not being out there, despite George Kittle not being out there, I think we saw those same things where the Saints didn't beat themselves, and that's what matters. So if you're going to lose Breeze, at least there's some signs for hope on the other side of the ball. They got to keep it going. It's a small sample, but it does seem like things are trending in the right direction.
Before we jump back to offense, Jameis Winston, how about the Manitoba Mauler right now, Nick? I mean, dude, where does David Onyemata, where does he kind of figure in the larger interior defensive line NFL conversation right now?
It's he's in there, and it's crazy. I think he was always a very solid player for them, and I thought when they kept him, they were keeping a good role player. I thought the contract was a little high. I'm not going to lie. When they signed him, I was like, wow, they really got to pay him that. I think we're seeing it now. And Sheldon Rankins going out in a weird way has allowed him to elevate his game even more, and I think he's showing more what he can do because now he's in there in those 3rd down situations, and he can kind of just get after it. And I think earlier in his career, those situations were a little bit more limited for him. And maybe we just didn't see everything he could do as a pass rusher. But, also the Manitoba Mauler was up in Manitoba not too long ago, playing a different brand of football in Canada, and he's rounded into shape. So it's crazy. I think he's probably one of the 3 or 4 guys, from start to finish on this team that has been a given every single week, and everybody else's play has fluctuated. And he's kind of been an anchor point for them on the defensive line, and he's an extremely important player for them. And I'm not sure we would have guessed that coming into the year, but he's definitely coming to his own now.
Can you speaking more of the defense, can you speak to what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson brings as far as a mentality to this team? I was telling T-Bob earlier, and we were speaking on air. To me, he's the closest comparison to Tyrann Mathieu that I have seen as far as having an impact on the game from the defensive side, because he can cover, he can blitz, he can help you in the run game, and he's just so physical and moves so quick from sideline to sideline. He's all over the place. Can you talk about what he brings to the team as far as confidence and a mentality?
I think that's a pretty good comparison, and I do think that he's the one guy that I think is just a little bit mean on Sundays. And Onyemata gives you a little bit of that in his style of play, but Gardner-Johnson gives you that in his attitude. And I'm not sure they have a lot of guys like that, but you see how people rally around him, how they feed off him. And it's not just one side of the ball. The guys on offense see the way he plays and gets fired up. You saw Alvin Kamara run out there after he got hurt in this last game and kind of rallied around him. And I think it's a matter of keeping all that in control. There's moments where he's not in control of himself, and I think someone like Tyron has learned how to do that, and that kind of makes it a little bit different. But if Chauncey can eliminate this stuff where there's the late hits or antagonizing teammates during practice, that attitude is a huge benefit. And I think 9 times out of 10 it is something positive. It's that 10th time, and I think as he gets older, he'll learn how to harness that and stay in more control of himself. But yeah, his play too. And I think this was probably the best game he's played. I think when they keep him in more of a downhill, it's everything in front of him type of role, but he really, really shines. His stuff as a blitzer in the run game this time. Going back to my first point about fundamentals and keeping their eyes in the right place, he was someone who did that really well in this game. And I think earlier in this year, he was almost someone that teams knew they could displace through motion and shifts and different things. And the Raiders did it on a touchdown against him. The Packers got him in it a few times. And I think since those games, he's tightened up. And I think that's true for everyone on the defense, not just to single him out. But, his play is elevating as the year goes on. And I think, like coming out of this game, he was probably the guy that I would highlight is just really that standout performance on defense.
Talking to Nick Underhill at Nick_Underhill on Twitter. Sign up for NewOrleans.football. Big trust. It is my favorite Saints site. Nick, I'm not taking any sweeping judgments away from Jameis Winston in this first game for the same reasons that I did it with Teddy Bridgewater last year when he was thrust midstream. How do you feel about Winston, Hill, and Peyton moving forward without Breeze over how do you feel about them moving forward to this next portion of the schedule?
I wonder if I'm a little too confident or not worried enough, just given because of how well last year went. They went 5-0, and now Breeze goes down, and you kind of feel like, oh, well, they'll figure it out because they figured it out before. And I do believe that they're going to figure it out. I just don't know if the level of concern is reached where it should actually reach. I think Teddy was maybe a little bit better equipped to come in right away and just game manage and, rely on the defense, get the ball to Mike, just everything will work itself out. And, Winston's a little bit of a different player. And I think that's exciting in some ways because, I do believe that there's an element of explosiveness that he can bring to this offense. And I think his ceiling is much higher than Teddy's. And there's a real chance if he goes out here and he shows, hey, I'm not going to throw these interceptions. I'm going to eliminate these mistakes. My vision's better. All this stuff has come together for me that, you're going to see possibly a player that is going to be coveted. I don't think his talent has ever been an issue. It's just the mental processing. But on the other side of that, if he goes out there and he's not seeing the field well and, he's making these mistakes, and he almost made one in this last game trying to throw a pass to Mike Thomas over the middle, didn't see the guy lurking underneath in coverage. There's a chance that they could lose a game or two because of him, throwing an interception or making a mistake. So it's going to be interesting to see. We don't really know what he can do. One of the things when they signed him for that $1 million contract and they shut down the NFL during, the offseason, canceled the preseason, it kind of created a weird little situation where the Saints were going to be able to help Jameis grow. And at the end of the season, they would be the only team to know where he was at. And if you don't see him, how does Jameis's value go up from $1 million? So if Brees was retiring, they were setting themselves up to have this secret and to know what Jameis could do. And now he's going to be out in the open and everyone's going to see. So, they kind of lose that a little bit with this too. But I'm curious to know. And I think it's a good test for him. I think there's a lot of pressure on him. This is his chance to show that the 30 interception season isn't who he is. It's his chance to show that he deserves to be a starter again. And if he wants to stay here, it's his chance to show that he should be the quarterback when Brees retires. So I'm excited to see what he does. But, I really don't know what to expect because I don't know how he's fixed his mental processing yet.
NewOrleans.football. That's the site. Go subscribe now. Get over there and keep up with Nick Underhill as he covers the Saints as good as anybody. Check out the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure and subscribe. That way when the new one gets published, that you will have the alert sent to your device. Nick, thank you as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Nick Underhill checking in on his regular Tuesday segment. We'll be back and close that hour 2.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by the Lanois, Lanoix agency.com, Lanois Insurance Agency. Remember, you can get in touch with Randy, Brian, and David today about all your insurance needs, whether it's flood insurance, business insurance, or home and auto. This is firsthand testimonies from the Off the Bench crew. They handle all of our insurance. They handle my home, my auto. They got the flood bundled up for monthly savings. Online, Lanoix agency.com.
LanoisAgency.com, LanoisAgency.com. Like Jordy said, bundle your home, auto, your flood insurance, everything. You're a small business owner. You need protection. They got your back. Having your back is probably the best part, right? Ultimately, that's what you want out of your insurance agent. You also want them to be able to customize policies to match your specific needs, and you want them to save you money. You know what I want? I want them to take care of everything and me not really do anything, and that's what they do at Lanois. Like when they called me up last year, like, hey, man, it'd save you a few $100. I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't do anything. I love it. Keep saving me money. Keep giving me protection. Go to LanoisAgency.com, Lanoix agency.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.
Tune into a Monday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Ivar Sports Bar. Jimmy recaps the weekend in football, including Saints versus 49ers, and we host our Monday Night Football watch party. Tune in at 6 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, as usual here on Off the Bench, we are confused, so we go to the experts. Jake Madison, who is the publisher of Locked On Pels podcast, is here at the end of Hour 2 to explain what the Pels get in giving up Drew Holiday in the latest trade. Jake, thank you for your time. Good morning.
Good morning, you guys. Thanks for having me on. So the Pelicans basically found a perfect storm trade partner here in the Milwaukee Bucks where they sent Drew Holiday. The Bucks are desperate to keep Giannis, their superstar player, two-time MVP in their small market, and they gave up a whole bunch to try and bring Drew Holiday in to keep Giannis as well. So this trade for them is not just for Drew Holiday, but it's also for Giannis if he ends up re-signing there. To get Drew Holiday, what they ended up giving up was 3 first-round picks, including one tomorrow, which is the 24th overall pick. So the Pelicans now have the 13th pick and the 24th pick in tomorrow's draft. They also get 2 additional future first-round picks. We don't know what years those are going to be in just yet, and it gets a little bit complicated. The rule in the NBA is you're not allowed to owe consecutive draft picks, so it won't be the pick next year or the year after that, depending on where some of these picks fall. So the Pelicans also get something called a pick swap in this deal. So if the Bucks have a better draft pick than the Pelicans do for some reason, the Pelicans just get that pick, and then the Bucks get the worst of the 2 picks. So it equates to something like 5 first-round picks essentially for Drew Holiday.
I mean, that is completely wild. So Jake, so the latter 2 first-round picks, not the pick swap. So theoretically, those could trigger in a time post Giannis, and I got 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Pelicans are hoping to do. They want those first-round picks to be out years, 2025, 2026, 2027, and maybe Giannis isn't there. Maybe Drew Holiday isn't there anymore, and those picks look a whole lot better because otherwise the Bucks are going to be title contenders. You're looking at picks in the 25 to 30 range. Not bad, not great. You want those picks to be as far out and maybe outweigh the Bucks a little bit.
Wow. Giannis will look great playing next to Zion in 3 years. You the man, Jake. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Hey, and check out Locked On Pels podcast. He's got a huge episode today. I know he recorded last night. He recorded this morning, I think, as well. So follow him on Twitter, @NolaJake. Go check on the Locked On Pels podcast.
Yeah, I saw a tweet last night at like 11:30 that said, F it, I'm recording.
Yeah, I love that.
Stick around, Hour 3, OTBOT coming at you. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Have a good Tuesday.
Stick around. Final hour. Coming up.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Secure Shredding and Recycling. Remember online, secureshreddingandrecycling.com. Stop in and see Gaines, Garrett, J. Babb, and the crew today for all of your shredding needs. Whether it is document destruction, they are your document destruction specialists. They can help you out with hard drives, mobile shredding, drop-off shredding, online, secureshreddingandrecycling.com.
SecureShreddingRecycling.com, SecureShreddingandRecycling.com for all your document destruction needs. It doesn't matter where you are. They cover the entire listening area. They have drop-off points. They have trucks, multiple trucks, a fleet of trucks come out and destroy your documents on site. It's not just paper. If you need your hard drive destroyed, mention Off the Bench, they do that as well. They do it for free, a couple of them. And look, for the biggest jobs, they have facilities at their place too. The bottom line is that it's a services business, okay? And they recognize that. And so they try to maximize their service to you. And so it's why when you work with them, not only is the price better than the national guys, but the service is better, which is ultimately what matters most. Go to SecureShreddingRecycling.com today.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Our local nonprofits help build a thriving community for all, and now it's time for us to give back. So join us for 225 Gives on Giving Tuesday, December 1st, to build community and unite action. Learn more at 225gives.org.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
T-Bob Abear here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4Kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, November 17th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 76. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up on OTB OT, WDSU's Fletcher Mackel stops by at 9:30. Follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live over at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Get inside the Bayou Ford chat. And make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. OTB OT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Abear. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTBOT, hour number 3. Okay, got a lot rattling around in my head. We got a lot of NBA talk about this segment. NFL Roundup next segment. Fletcher Mackel coming up at 8:30. Danny's sitting here wearing a South African rugby jersey where he normally comes in with the New Zealand all-black jersey, so I'm all twisted up about how to feel about that. Michael in the YouTube chat's in a tougher spot as he's asking, what kind of soap do you use to wash your underwear in the sink? Sorry, Michael. I don't know what happened. I have a few ideas, and good luck. And then Todd's talking about Waffle House offering bacon-flavored beer, which sounds disgusting, but I did hear that Waffle House released their own beer. Did y'all hear this? Somebody fact-check me with a quick Google search.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Anecdotally, I don't remember if it was a group text message or something. Somebody yesterday mentioned Waffle House creating a beer and said the cans were sick, which you can imagine Waffle House can being pretty awesome, right? Just give me that classic yellow with the Wahoo. But bacon-flavored beer doesn't sound very good. I'm not really like a fan of like the peanut butter bacon milkshake or anything either.
It's a collaboration brew and smells like bacon. The can is actually pretty cool.
Okay, there you go, dude.
But no, thank you. By the way, also,
I drink it. I would try it. I'd try all beer. I would try all beer. Well, does it smell like bacon or it tastes like bacon?
One says it smells like bacon. This one says create bacon flavored beer.
We have
conflicting reports.
Can you? Oh,
see, isn't that cool? Bacon and Kegs.
Oh, Bacon and Kegs.
That's a cool name too.
That is a pretty cool can. Yeah, I mean that's pretty awesome. I would love that on a Hawaiian shirt. Just extrapolate that pattern on a Hawaiian shirt and give it to me now. And next time I go to Waffle House to get my bacon Texas cheesesteak double plate smothered covered with a vanilla Coke and a waffle on the side, I'll just be wearing that shirt. It's going to be awesome. All right. If anybody wants to like send this to us, if you have access to the can, that would be awesome. And we'll make Musa drink it on air. I'll drink it for fun. So Danny, you are, you come in one day, you've got a New Zealand All Blacks rugby jersey on. You come in today, you've got one of their arch rivals, the South African Springboks, which you just informed me they were the Springboks. And then we got to talk, and you're like, I don't love New Zealand. I like the jerseys. I like some of the players. And I thought I was going to catch you in a lie because I asked you who your favorite All Black player is. Who's your favorite All Black?
Sonny Bill Williams, outside center, dude's a beast.
Oh, look at Danny. So, and then I was kind of surprised. You say that you watch rugby weekly.
Yes.
So what, like, how does that work? Are you watching like the super, like, what is it, the Super League or?
Super Rugby.
Okay, Super Rugby. And that is between those three countries, but it's like league play between those three countries.
Yes, exactly.
What channel is this on?
ESPN Plus has like all the games.
Okay. So if anybody's looking to scratch a little football itch, maybe a little rugby itch, follow Danny down the ESPN Plus bandwagon. So who's your favorite Super League team?
Super League team, probably the.
I want to say,
Hurricanes.
Okay, I saw the Hurricanes live in their stadium in Wellington against.
Crusaders are also cool.
Against I think the Christchurch Crusaders. Awesome game. It was great, dude.
Yeah.
So look at us, a couple of rugby guys here to kick off hour number 3. Also, check out the Fan Cave coming up on Saturday morning. Going to be some early drinking going down. Going to be a lot of fun. I have missed
the Waffle House
Fan
beer.
Cave. What's that?
Get the Waffle House beer.
Oh, snap. It's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Look at this.
It's in the morning.
Yeah.
Bacon and kegs.
Bacon and kegs.
The synergy.
Kegs and eggs.
It writes itself.
Gotta love it.
So can we get it here in Louisiana?
I don't know. Bacon
Somebody
and
saying it
cheese.
might be only be a testing in Georgia, test marketing in Georgia. So I know we have some Georgia listeners, though. If anybody can hook it up, we'll, let us know. Send it over our way. Brian Fletcher says, I played rugby for 2 weeks and said, F that. Coming from the guy who would earhole DTs on trap plays. Yeah. No, as a football player, I've watched the Nola Gold, who, by the way, have incredible kits, like the best jerseys. But, I mean, I've gone to a few Nola Gold games, and rugby is horrifying. I don't know why you, Danny, or any of these people do what they do. I mean, hitting without pads is the height of dumbassery. It's just like asking for broken collarbones and broken noses, and the impacts are brutal live action. Like, those guys are not messing around. So if you want to see some live rugby, not on ESPN Plus, when's the Nola Gold start up their season again? Is the pandemic kind of throwing everything into whack?
It should start next. It's definitely not this year. It should be start like I think around summer of next year.
Okay, because the Nola Gold are very good, and the uniforms are sweet, and the games are super fun, and everybody just gets pretty hammered and just watches rugby. It's a good time. Go check
It's
them
like
out.
a party environment.
A big time party environment. Big time party environment. Especially if you can weasel your way in or figure out how to get those the tickets to the VIP tent where it's all you can eat, all you can drink. It goes down. And then the players can buy after the game for the 5th quarter where the two teams get hammered with each other, which is probably my favorite post-sport tradition that I can possibly imagine. Todd Clear, gee, if only someone in the show grew up in Georgia. I guess you're right. I have a lot of friends and everything that I could kind of try to send me this beer for this weekend. So that's probably actually who told me about it. Let's talk a little NBA, though, before we get in the NFL next segment. As you heard Jake Madison right there. So we now have a clearer idea of what you actually got in this trade. Think about this, y'all. For a guy, Drew Holiday is very good. Okay? He should have been on the All-NBA defensive team, arguably. Again, this last year, he was first and second team the 2 years before. He's a 20-7 guy. So he's good on the offensive side of the ball as well. He's a leader. He's a great player. Despite all of this, I am still shocked at how much David Griffin was able to get for Drew Holiday. And I think Jake hit the nail on the head. It's a bit of a perfect storm where the Pelicans had all the leverage. You had multiple suitors for Holiday. You have a Bucks team that is desperate to try to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. And the best way to do that is to add, superstar talent. And Drew Holiday fits that mold. And so, let's talk about Drew being a superstar, because I think that's almost an interesting conversation in and of itself, where a lot of people say he's not. And I think I'm inclined to agree, but I can't help but wonder if this added spotlight in Milwaukee on a winning team with Giannis, will Drew finally get the respect that he deserves? Because we've played clips from the All the Smoke podcast, right, with Matt Barnes, and I'm forgetting who hosted with him. But I saw a montage that was floating around a couple of weeks ago where every episode they would ask everybody who's the most underrated player in the NBA, and like Kevin Durant, almost everybody said almost to a man that it was Drew Holiday. Like he was the common denominator answer. Well, now he's going to have his chance to no longer be underrated. He's going to have his chance to be properly rated now that he'll be playing on a team that's actually winning and going to be talked about and going to be in the headlines. So I'm very happy for Drew to now be on a contender. I'm still shocked at what you got back. I mean, before we even get into the draft picks, let's talk about the players. Now, I don't know that the players stick, right? David Griffin could end up flipping both these guys, one of these guys for more. But let's just look at the players as it stands now. And Eric Bledsoe, you get a lesser Drew Holiday. Did y'all realize how close these two guys are just statistically? I'm not talking about tangibles or anything else. Eric Bledsoe averaged 15, 5, and 5 last year. He was first team All-NBA defense in 17 and 18. He was second team, He was first team in 18-19, Eric Bledsoe was. He was second team All-Defense last season. We just mentioned Drew Holiday. He was first team 3 years ago, second team 2 years ago, barely missed last year. So essentially, you have a player in Drew that averages 3 more points, 3 more assists, 2 more assists, but ultimately defensively has like kind of the same output. So Eric Bledsoe is just like a slightly lesser Drew Holiday. And then you throw George Hill into the mix, who you may not realize, I certainly didn't until this trade came out, he led the NBA in three-point percentage last year at 46%. Who did he barely edge out in second? J.J. Redick at 45.3%. So if you don't move these guys, you all of a sudden you still maintain an elite defender in that backcourt with Eric Bledsoe, and now you add George Hill, another deadly three-point shooter to surround Zion with, which is exactly what you're looking for. And so maybe flip you guys, maybe you don't, but I like it from the player perspective. And that's not even getting into the draft picks. What you said, 3 first-round picks, was it 2 draft swaps? You're going to get an immediate first-round pick tomorrow at 24, but the real fascinating ones are down the road, like Jake was talking about, because of the bottom line, you need to understand, because of the amount of first-round picks you can give away, what Milwaukee already owns, and just basically all these kind of rules that, like Jake just laid out. Like, there's a good chance that you don't see that first-round pick till 2025, and you may be saying, well, T-Ball, what the hell? How are we supposed to get excited about that? What's the point of that? Well, I think if you're a Pelicans fan, you should be excited about that because it's representative of everything that David Griffin has laid out until this point. He's talking about patience, talking about building culture over time, not skipping steps, right? He had to skip steps when he was building around LeBron. He's talking about building this thing for the ground up for long-term sustained success, something that is completely foreign to the Pelican fan experience, especially in the Dell Demps era, where it's a constantly shifting, reactive, let's leverage the long term, trying to have success in the short term, only you got neither. Well, now you have players that look like they help you in the short term. You add resources to the short term when now you have another first-round pick in tomorrow's draft, and you still button yourself up even longer term. Don't forget, you still have you have the 2021 first-round pick from the Lakers that I don't think you're going to get because if they pick anywhere from 8 to 30, they'll retain that. So they will retain that. And then that becomes an unprotected first-round pick that you'll get in 2022. You have a 2023 pick swap from the Lakers. And then in 2024 and 2025, hopefully AD and LeBron have kind of gone their ways. You can choose which of those years you would like to pick swap as well. And so now you add in Bucks picks that far down the road where maybe you hope that Giannis Antetokounmpo is gone. And all of a sudden, these could end up being lottery picks if Milwaukee falls flat on the face, which it may because they are leveraging their future to try to win a championship. And I don't blame them, but that is what they're doing. So it is really shrewd work by David Griffin, Trajan Langdon, Swin Cash, and everybody else in that Pelican front office. And to me, it is representative and it is fulfillment of the promises that were made when he laid out his vision for this franchise. So I will really miss Drew Holiday, and I wish him nothing but the best. And I'm glad that he can finally be on a contending team and finally be afforded the opportunity to get the respect that he deserves because he's been nothing but a great Pelican over the last 7 years, and him and his family and Lauren Holiday and their daughter. I'm glad everything worked out there. They will all be missed. But good times for the Pelicans. And honestly, I mean, I don't hate the trade for the Bucks. They probably gave up more than you would ever want to for Drew. But I think Holiday makes him a better team. I don't know if they make him like able to win a championship because the East now suddenly looks crazy. I mean, the NBA is crazy, dude. Scott Kushner tweeted earlier that NBA offseason is more entertaining than 80% of the NBA season, and he might be right in a way. You got Kevin Durant out here creating, doing Kevin Durant things, creating another superstar, super soft Charmin team, as he now has James Harden demanding a trade out of Houston to Brooklyn, which, by the way, can you imagine a more toxic trio than James Harden? I mean, I guess what would be the only thing you could do if you threw Russell Westbrook into the mix? Is that the only thing that could make it crazier? I mean, you got Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, who Jordy read the Warriors book, Golden State book, and he has really talked about what a problem Kevin Durant was in that locker room. We all know what a problem Kyrie's been. I don't really view Harden as a locker room problem, but he definitely needs that ball, right? Like, it's just wild to think about that team being formed. And although they will be overwhelmingly good just out of sheer talent, I do struggle to see them winning championships because of the aforementioned toxicity. So NBA's wilder now. Oh, and Chris Paul joined the Suns. So there's that. Sam Presti. I mean, I had a whole write-up on Sam Presti that we're not going to get to because we don't have time. But, like, that man knows how to run a front office. And what I love is what I'm seeing out of David Griffin. It reminds me a lot of what I've seen out of Sam Presti through the years. That's how you run a small market team. David Griffin, Trajan Langdon, also, he always gets left out. He is the GM. Congratulations to both of y'all. Excellent work. All right, when we get back, let's close the book on the NFL week that was Monday Night Football last night. Finished it off. Give you our takeaways from each game. And then Fletcher Mackel coming up at 9:30 to talk more about the Pels. This is OTBOT here on 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN.
OTBOT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Yo, join us for a Tuesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda from noon to 3. Chris Doring of the SEC Network and SiriusXM Radio joins us for his Tuesday segment. And also Hunt Palmer will sit in for an hour on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Make Christmas wishes come true this holiday season with 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge's $15,000 sweepstake presented by Acura of Baton Rouge. Sign up now at 1045ESPN.com for your chance to win $15,000.
Oh, yeah. Man, that makes me want some sand between my toes and tequila in hand. All right, welcome back. OTBOT. This is the portion of the show where we go through the NFL week that was. Before we do, I have a question. Is Leonardo DiCaprio the Michael Jordan of memes? It's a question that we were exploring in the commercial break. I mean, you think there's the Great Gatsby meme. There's multiple Wolf of Wall Street memes. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, cigarette drinking point at the TV meme is one of my favorites currently. Of course, Django is full of memes as well. First you had my, what is it? I think first you had my interest, now you have my attentions along those lines. There's probably my favorite Django one is where he's kind of like smugly laughing. I mean, he's all over the place. But then we got to thinking, is he the Michael Jordan of memes or is Michael Jordan the Michael Jordan of memes? There's all the crying Jordan memes. Hall of Fame speech gave multiple memes.
Leo has that other laughing one too. Not just the one from Django. He has the other one where he's like at the table.
Oh, yes.
With everybody.
Yes, the Wolf of Wall Street one.
Yes.
Where he's on the boat.
Yes.
And he's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, you're right. And then, of course, Last Dance is an endless supply of memes. As I guess what originally triggered this was me and Musa were talking about Sam Presti, and he was joking that somebody was giving Presti all the credit for, the just massive amount of picks and everything that he got. And David Griffin took that personally. And so he's doing the same. And one thing we're going to talk to Fletcher about coming up is like, my mind's always just, I'm very simple-minded. And so I'm like, okay, they got all this. Hell yeah, let's roll. They have so many assets if they wanted to flip some stuff, right? Like if you want to package one of these new players with some of these picks, like the world is the Pelicans' oyster going into this really crazy offseason. So continue to monitor it, see where it goes. But for now, let's do what we always do at this time on Tuesday, and let's get to our NFL scoreboard. Might get through it a little quicker this week. We shall see. But we start in the AFC South. Well, I guess we already kind of talked about this. Colts beat the Titans 34-17 on Thursday Night Football. Huge win for the Colts. Titans continuing to struggle.
Comedy of errors on special teams for the Titans.
Yes.
Second half of that game.
So back to Sunday's action at noon. The Cleveland Browns beating the Houston Texans 10-7. Good on Cleveland. Look, Cleveland reminds me of being like a Pelicans fan, right? They are not in any position to be upset with wins. I get that this game was boring as hell. It probably doesn't give you a lot of hope for how you're going to do against the better teams in the NFL, but it is what it is. A win's a win, and you as a Cleveland Brown fan now find yourself at 6-3?
Yes, 6-3.
Wow, okay. And then I have nothing else to say except for sorry to all the people who had Browns minus 6.5 or whatever it was when Chubb stepped out of bounds, including the Oddfather and Ben Mintz. Poor Otter. Can't
It
get out of
rained
his
a
own
lot
way.
at that game.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was a monsoon.
Well, thankfully this time they didn't let the Oakland Raiders beat them in Cleveland weather, or Las Vegas Raiders beat them in Cleveland weather. Like when it's like that, they have to win. If they lost to Houston as well, you would have had to just dismantle the entire team and move it again. The Detroit Lions won an insane one over the Washington football team, 30-27. Was that a 59-yard walk-off from Prater?
I believe so. After a double-digit comeback in the fourth quarter by the Washington football team, such is life in the NFC East.
It was 24-3 at one point in that game, and Washington came back and tied it. I don't think the Lions are good, but what are they now, 4-5?
Yes.
I can't get away from that DeAndre Swift touchdown in week 1, too. They should have been 5-4. They had another couple ones they let slip. It's like they're an okay football team. They're an okay football team. They're at least making themselves playoff relevant with this extra spot. Also, the NFC is just kind of all over the place. Speaking of the NFC, the team that a lot of people still think is the favorite for the 1 seed, or maybe the best team, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they take care of business 46-23 against the Carolina Panthers.
Injuries to Teddy Bridgewater and Christian McCaffrey, probably the biggest stories out of this game.
So are those long-term injuries? I thought those were just like tweaks or something.
I think McCaffrey is out this week coming up.
That's not good.
I think they're waiting more on Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, the Bucs should have won that game, and they did. So
it's kind of interesting. Going into this game, Joe Brady is starting to get a lot of head coaching smoke around the league, and it's not hard to see why. What he did without McCaffrey earlier in the year, and the Panthers are still playing over their head. They're scrappier than they have any right to be, but unfortunately, they're just not very good, like from a pure roster perspective. But that might be why Brady gets the job. As far as the Bucs go, look, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm not worried about the Bucs. They're going to go do what they do, but we all saw what happens when they match up with New Orleans.
They play the Rams next. The Bucs.
Okay, that's a very good
Monday Night Football.
That is we finally have a good primetime game. And that is a very good picture into maybe who's the best in the NFC. Because like both those teams are in that conversation. It's like the Packers, the Saints, the Bucs, and I would actually throw the Rams in there. I think they've weaseled their way in there. Giants 27, Eagles 17. The Eagles look so just dysfunctional, broken. I mean, Carson Wentz is so not fun to watch play quarterback right now. It's check down city. There's no threats offensively. It's getting just demolished all the time and beat up. I would be very upset if I was an Eagles fan. Here's the question. Do we think the Giants are going to win this division now? Bro, I was
going to say no, but I really, maybe.
They've been playing kind of good lately.
Daniel Jones is super fast.
He's super fast.
He's fast.
Confirmed. You saw him on the read option touchdown 30 yards on Monday, and he looked quick.
He's not great at throwing the ball, but he's fast.
I'm just saying, dude, the Giants have been playing better football lately. Have they won 2 in a row now? Maybe 3 of 4?
They won 2 in a row, I believe. Let's see.
Yes, 2 in a row.
2 in a row, 3 of 5.
I mean, who do you feel better about today, the Eagles or the Giants?
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Right?
The Giants.
All right. Give me the Giants.
I still think the Eagles win.
I hope the Giants win the division at 6-10. I don't even know if that's mathematically possible, but that would be fantastic. Packers 24, Jaguars 20. Surprisingly close game here. Jacksonville and Luton actually had the ball at the end of the game, like where it was like, okay, if they score a touchdown, they win. Now the Packers even stepped up and stopped them, but the Packers remain a very Jekyll and Hyde sort of team this season. It's hard to get a great read on them.
I mean, they kind of feel similar to what they did last year in a way. They're just the games. They're not playing as many close games as they were last season. If you remember last year, everybody was just kind of waiting for them to lose one of those close games, and because they didn't look great in the wins they had, but they just got a lot of wins, and they ended up making a nice run in the playoffs. But yeah,
when did they lose in the playoffs last year? San Fran?
Yeah, I believe it was the
NFC
championship game.
I still
fraud.
think the Saints should have won that game against Packers.
The Saints should have won that
Going
game
back
against
to
the
the-
Packers.
So what upset you? That was it the Hill fumble? When
Yeah.
they kind of had the momentum and they were driving,
Yeah.
and then that just
That
upset the
should've
apple
lost
cart. Yeah. Also, I'm still triggered by Aaron Rodgers doing hard counts in a silent Superdome. Like
That was bad.
You were talking about salting the wound, jerk.
That was back when they really couldn't stop anybody in the red zone.
Cardinals 32, Bills 30. Not much more we need to say here, except don't look now. Arizona Cardinals now in first place in the NFC West, dude. Wild how they have gone this year. And for the Bills, maybe a tad bit of interest that the Dolphins are now looking so good, and like they could have really used this win in their own AFC East race. They still stood in the driver's seat, but it's something to watch going forward. Josh Allen, I would, if I'm a Bills fan, you still got to be really pleased with how Josh Allen led that touchdown drive at the end of the game and threw what appeared to be the game-winning score. That's a great point of growth. Unfortunately, he just got outplayed by two really exciting players in Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. I had another thought here that I thought was interesting, but it slipped my mind. Dolphins 21, Dolphins 29, Chargers 21. There was a late score, though, I believe. This is more like a 29-14 score the other game. Yeah, like what's the Dolphins' record now? Are they 6-3?
Yeah, 6-3.
Yeah, they are.
And the Bills are
They're,
what?
They're 7-3. They're a half game, right?
Oh,
half game or half game.
Yeah.
They won 5 straight.
The Dolphins have.
Yeah.
It's a great defense, man. They have a really good defense. Tua's starting to play ball.
Yeah. Flores looks like he knew what he was doing, making that Tua switch during the bye week. I mean, if
He's
this
the
was
future.
like
I mean,
if this was Ryan, also if Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing right now, you would 1,000% expect them to fall flat on their face.
Of course.
Like with Tua, I actually don't expect that. Which is weird because Ryan might still be better than Tua. I don't know, but yeah, I like a fan base that has sucked forever getting a little juice. Okay, how can you not be happy for the Dolphins having a quarterback after not having one since 1999? Even though I know that it's scary as a Saints fan because we're about to enter the quarterback-less desert.
Maybe not.
My third and final pick in the Degeneration Dome, the logic I espoused on Friday was I'm picking the Raiders just because I don't think the Broncos are very good at all. Well, sometimes a blind squirrel nuts now and then because the Raiders won that game 37-12. Domination from Vegas. How about it?
Drew Lock 4 interceptions.
Yeah, he's terrible.
He's not good.
So
the Broncos are not good.
Unfortunately
The
for
Raiders
Locke,
are a playoff team, so.
the sweet young Jeezy Raps. Like I'm someone who I finally stopped believing in Drew Lock. I think it was last week. It took me a long time. I don't know why I ever believed in him in the first place, but I did. I went through like a Gardner Minshew time with him where it took me a long time to finally hop off the bandwagon, but here we are. Rams 23, Seahawks 16. By far the most impressive part of this is Seahawks 16, right? Like good on that Rams defense holding them down.
So let's say, speaking of interceptions and turnovers, Russell Wilson has played himself totally out of the MVP currently. He cannot stop throwing the ball to the other team.
And look,
and
the
it
bottom
is hurting his MVP race and it's hurting his team.
Interestingly, is this the best defensive performance out of Seattle on the year? And they wasted it?
It might be, and Jared Goff still threw for 300 yards.
I mean, if we're going to look at, like, if we were to look at the scores of every game, I don't think they've held anybody to 23 this season. So, really big win for the Rams. The Seahawks stock, they're in a bit of a free fall now. Not like a bad team free fall, but like you said, no MVP, no contender. Steelers 36, Bengals 10. I know I irrationally believe in Joe Burrow because I 1,000% thought they were going to cover this game. And
that was never going to happen.
Yeah, obviously not. I mean, I guess I didn't 1,000% because you can't more than 100%. And I also didn't pick them in the Degen Dome. But I just always think Burrow's going to get it done. Not so fast. The Pittsburgh Steelers are maybe the most complete team in the NFL. Saints 27, Niners 13. We already talked about that. We don't need to talk about that much more. Sunday night, Patriots 23, Ravens 17. Speaking of free falling, what's going on with the Ravens now?
Lamar Jackson might be a pumpkin. He might be turning back into a pumpkin.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not willing to make any like long-term judgments here, but there are some scary parallels between the fall off with Greg Roman and Kaepernick, and now the fall off with Greg Roman and Lamar Jackson. I still think that Lamar Jackson's base skill set is so incredible that they'll get it figured out. It's not a good look, though, when Jackson's out there talking in the media about how the defense is calling out their plays. I mean, you're basically calling your offensive coordinator pretty bad at that point. And that was a relationship that was so great last year. They got to get it figured out. I mean, they'll make the playoffs.
No, absolutely.
Will the Patriots make the playoffs?
No. Well, it depends. I mean, if we go to 16 teams, yes, probably.
They're 4-5 now.
But I mean, can they sneak one from the Dolphins? Can they sneak one from the Bills?
What kind of year is it when we're asking, can the New England Patriots
2020, T-Bob.
sneak one from the Dolphins or sneak one from the Bills?
It's 2020.
Are we in the upside down right now?
It's 2020 in a world where Tom Brady plays in Tampa Bay.
Is a Demogorgon about to come busting through the door and just suck my face off? Like, what? I guess you're right, though. I mean, yeah, no, I don't think they'll be able to sneak one from those guys. But it would be the most Belichickian ever thing to somehow have this Patriots team make the playoffs after looking like they were completely
The most
done.
Belichick thing ever would be to somehow have this Patriots team in the Super Bowl.
No, chill out.
It would be.
I don't even think they're making the playoffs. I hope not, at least. I'm ready for the Patriots era to be over, or at least with like a new guy now. Vikings, and then finally on Monday Night Football last night. How about it, dude? Give it up. Not really, Danny, because I know you hate it. But how about Kirk Cousins, man? Come on. Do you feel good for him at all, Danny? He was 0-9 on Monday Night Football. Can my guy get one win from him? Come on.
Absolutely not.
Even though he almost ended up on Freezing Cold Takes, did y'all see him celebrate the first down pass on when they thought they had closed out the game? So the Vikings have the ball. Bears have 3 timeouts. Vikings, I guess Kirk Cousins thought if he got a first down, they won the game. So he throws for a first down, and Kirk starts freaking out. He's going crazy. He's so hyped up. Yeah. And then they have to put it away 3 plays later. And, like, the Bears had a minute on the clock. They definitely still could have lost that game. Well, no, they couldn't have because it was the Bears' offense.
That game was awful.
The Bears
that was a terrible football
14
game.
yards of total offense in the second half. That's what somebody – I read that tweet. Maybe fact check me on that.
The only reason they were in that game in the second half is because they have a good defense, and Cordell Patterson returned a kickoff 104 yards.
Yeah, and watching him use Cordell Patterson on offense is hilarious. It's so predictable and so bad, but he is a beast at special teams. Man, but kind of coincidentally, the most Bears game ever, right? Defensive, special teams, no offense. I guess that's kind of the Bears fan sweet spot, but you still hope for better than 14 yards. What are we doing here, people? And now Nick Foles is hurt. And he got carted off.
Carted off the field, yeah. Carted off the field last night.
I mean, honestly, not the worst for Bears fans because I think Mitch Trubisky ended up being better.
They didn't even bring Mitch Trubisky in, though.
No.
They brought in Tyler Bray.
I know. Trubisky was out last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was hurt last night. But what I'm saying is, like, I think now that we saw Nick Foles in an extended amount of time, the Trubisky era of this year's Bears team was actually better. I think in terms of offense. But
every time I watch Nick Foles play quarterback, I just think to myself, this guy's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, I mean, then again, I guess I'm just, like, comparing 2 different turds, right? If one smells less bad, it doesn't really matter. It's still pretty gross. So, shout out to you, Bears. Also, with that game last night, Megan took Nick again in the Degeneration Dome. She lost. So, who's winning again after a 3-0 week? Your boy, back on top. Suck it, gamblers. All right, when we get back, we'll talk to Fletcher Mackel next here on Off the Bench.
OTB, OT.
We just talked a lot of football. What's your headquarters for? Football. You want to get into Hooters, right? Because they have the wings, the beer, the sports. They have all the televisions, the Hooters girls, like everything that you've really probably grown up loving about Hooters is still there and better than ever. In fact, the renovations on Seagan are fantastic. If you haven't been in a while, go check them out. If you cannot get in on game day, though, bring Hooters to you. Download the phone app, get a free appetizer app for an app. Marketing synergy, people. That app is just that deal is just one of many food and drink deals to be found within that app. And look, you can also order right there from the app. So you want to get wings to fly, you want to get that Hooters delivered to your house. You're having people over. It's Thanksgiving dinner. Forget about a turkey. Just order a bunch of Hooters wings. I'm sure everybody will be really happy. So go to Hooters.com, bring Hooters to your home. Don't cook, don't clean. Hooters, your headquarters for football. Hooters.
Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
Do
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that...
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. The latest on Drew Brees' injury. Larry Holder will join us, and we'll start previewing LSU in Arkansas. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
It's a good point. Michael Scott probably also belongs in the Michael Jordan of memes conversation as well. I mean, the office is all over the place, specifically Steve Carell. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. We don't have much time. Fletcher Mackel, I'm terrible at managing the clock. I'm also terrible at my general appearance. Unlike you, you are always put together, always on time. Fletch, what's up, dude?
I am doing well, T-Bob. Thanks for having me, even if it's just for a minute, and for that very nice intro, even though I don't think it's 100% accurate for either of us.
Fletch, I know that you have a crippling NBA trade machine addiction. Therefore, I would like to know your thoughts on David Griffin and Trajan Langdon's trade yesterday.
I'll say this. Late last night, obviously, they traded Drew Holiday to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Pelicans have gone from a general manager in Dell Demp, who seemed allergic to draft picks and was just giving them away like candy, to now someone who is hoarding draft picks and assets. They got 3 first-round picks last year for Anthony Davis as well as young players. Now they have 3 future first-round draft picks for Drew Holiday. So it's just the way the organization is being built. They were built in a much different way that wasn't sustainable with Dell Demp. in the present, it seems like, well, this could work. Once the dust settled, we knew it couldn't. Can this be a sustainable model for New Orleans? We'll see. But obviously, they believe in having assets, having financial flexibility, having multiple draft picks. So I hate to see Drew Holiday go, but he certainly didn't fit the timeline of Zion and Brandon Ingram, who are 20 and 22. Holiday is 30 years old, going on 31. So what they brought back in return, if you're looking at it from a quote-unquote asset perspective, you have to say it was a win. But I think you have to look at it from the big picture because I don't think the trade made them better in the here and now.
So with that in mind, do you think that Hill and Bledsoe, do they see time on the Pelicans this roster, or do they get packaged, one of them, both of them, with some of these assets? Like, do you think there are more moves on the way from this Pels front office?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very active. The draft is on Wednesday night. I hope that the Pelicans get Skylar Mays in the second round from LSU. But two, I think they're going to be very active on draft night. So I don't know if you'll see these players here, but if they are here, they are fine role players. Drew Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe is a nice role player. George Hill is a nice role player. George Hill is certainly past his prime. Eric Bledsoe is a guy who still has worth as a role player. So if they are here when the dust settles, to use that term again, I certainly think they'll be fine. I don't know if either is on par with Drew Holiday. I certainly think the Bucks right now got the better end of the deal to win a championship in 21.
Yeah.
But long term, I think New Orleans is looking at this from a very long-term perspective. But I could see Hill and Bledsoe both playing on the Pelicans. But over the next few days, I could also make an argument that both will be moved in separate deals.
So it's kind of interesting. If you were to think about this in like stock terms, or I don't even know, or maybe financial terms, the correct thing to say there, it's almost like David Griffin shorted both the Lakers and the Bucks, right? Banking on that down the road, they will fall apart. Maybe not looking great for LA now. I mean, or in terms of LA falling apart. But what do you think, man? By the time these Bucks picks start to pop, the later ones, do you think Giannis is still in Milwaukee?
Well, that's the big question. Look, last year, he bet on the Lakers being bad. The Lakers weren't bad. They won a championship. But as LeBron phases out of the league, those picks may start to become better for New Orleans.
Yeah.
Same with Milwaukee. One of these picks is in 2027. Giannis will be 32 years old. Will he still be an MVP at that point? And even if these picks aren't great picks, they're still first-round draft picks, and they still have some worth. So, again, a player in Drew Holiday that was probably going to walk out the door next summer with no compensation in return, you now at minimum have picks in the 20s, and at best you could have lottery picks for them. So I get what he's doing. David Griffin, from the day that he walked in here, said this has to be a sustainable model. It can't always be put Band-Aids on it and just win now. That's what it was with Anthony Davis, and it wasn't sustainable in a smaller NBA market. His goal, he told us from day one, was sustainable success with assets and the ability to go in a lot of different directions, and he's following through on it. Agree with it or disagree with it. Look, he made the Lakers a champion by trading Anthony Davis to them. He may have made the Bucks a champion by sending Drew Holiday to pair with Giannis in that team. What he's hoping is that in 2022, 2023, 2024, that is when you'll see the Pelicans hitting their stride. It's a long-term perspective. Patience isn't always a thing that sports fans have, but that's what you're going to have if you want to follow the Pelicans and judge it fairly on what they're doing.
Well, so that's the only way that you're going to get to championship level. You're not just going to jump to championship level. All right, last one here, Fletch. James Harden demanding a trade to Brooklyn, can Kyrie, KD, and Harden, I know they can win, but is that going to be a stable enough crew to win a championship?
I don't know. Look, I love these. I love Kevin Durant. Before he got hurt, I think he was the best player in basketball. Even though he went to Golden State and jumped on the championship bandwagon with them, what he does offensively and defensively is just unicorn-like. I like Brooklyn because I like Sean Marks. He played for the he played for the New Orleans Hornets. He's now the general manager. Steve Nash, I think, is a really great player and a high basketball IQ guy. I don't know if Harden, Kyrie, and KD all work together. I would love to see that mix if Brooklyn pulls that off. I don't think Brooklyn needs to get Harden to be good. And if they got him, I would love to see how they thread the needle and make one basketball work with three elite ball-dominant scorers. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. I just wanted to happen to watch the show. Fletcher Mackel, WDSU, at Fletcher WDSU on Twitter. You already know Fletch. All things local sports. He's got you covered. Fletch, thank you so much, man.
P-Bob, thank you, and I think you are a very handsome man. Wow. So I'll just leave it at that.
Wow. I mean, I'm blushing over here. You can't see it, but you can if you're watching on YouTube, so subscribe to our YouTube channels. All right, we will close out the show next when we get back.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
In an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
From the makers of Blue Moon comes Light Sky. An extraordinary citrus sweet brewed with real tangerine peel, only 95 calories. Welcome to the light side of the moon.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Yo, join us for a Tuesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda from noon to 3. Chris Doring of the SEC Network and SiriusXM Radio joins us for his Tuesday segment, and also Hunt Palmer will sit in for an hour on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yeah, don't blow vape smoke in your Xbox, kids. That makes no sense. It'd be real weird to be leader of one of these companies that sometimes some of the things you have to address. So yeah, I guess somebody was blowing vape smoke through the Xbox, but trying to make it say the Xbox was just naturally smoking like that. And then Xbox had to come out and be like, I don't do this. It does not do this. Danny's over here lying, trying to tell me about PS5 server problems. I don't know, man. I'm leaning towards the PS5, trying to wrangle one out for Christmas. I think I've sacrificed the virtual reality dream. I was going to try to lean towards one of those Oculus Quest 2 headsets, finally experience virtual reality, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I just keep thinking about Cyberpunk 2077 on new consoles. Sorry. So we finally learned. I don't know how to read this one. I need to go back to the other tweet that I saw, but I can't find it. We finally learned the picks though, and right now it looks like this year. This is the Pelicans' first round draft picks through 2027. This year they have 13 and 24. 24 comes from Milwaukee. In 2021 they likely will not get that Lakers pick. In 2022. They have their they'll likely have their own pick, and they'll likely have the Lakers first round pick. In 2023, they have their own pick and the Lakers first round pick. In 2024, they have the right to swap with the Lakers either in 24 or 25, and they have the Milwaukee swap. In 2025, they have their own pick and an unprotected Milwaukee pick. In 2026, they have their own pick and a swap with Milwaukee. And in 2027, they have their own pick and Milwaukee unprotected. So those last two first-round picks you got for Drew Holiday don't come till 2025 and 2027, which I actually love. This is the type of long-term success that David Griffin promises, how you lay the groundwork to accomplish those goals. You know, you build culture that will sustain. All right, Tuesday show in the books. We'll be back Wednesday with more Off the Bench. Thank you, Musso. Thank you, Danny. Thank you to everybody who listened, hung out with us. Have a great day.
OTB OT.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State